Let's see it dance. Yeah. Chemical catalyst rattling, never hazardous. Subdued by all my memories, but never been a pacifist. So quick to put up the fist. It's hard to resist, but I just might lose control. So shoot, and I never do miss. I gotta take risk if I wanna have it all. So let go of the poison, the venom. I'm sending. The voices are spinning with the visions all written. Got the pictures of my prophecy. Develop my philosophy. Woke up in the morning, told the world to get back off of me. Yeah, and still the nightmares creeping up at night. I'm a fragment in the mirror, seeing black and white. Like who is me and who is gonna take me over? My soul is my soul in the eyes of the beholder. Yeah, and now there's darkness in the chaos. Try to see the light, hope the positives will pay off. Ain't no time for stressing when the time is of this essence. Take these two fists and swing them back into your direction. Woo! Cause that's the way I got it. And don't the sound of doom always sound so melodic. Looking to the future, know the end is coming near. Even though I'm standing tall in the face of all this fear. Clear vision, serving life like a sentence. Gotta stay strong, that's the reason I'm so vicious. A barking dog, take it all, never fall. You ringing for the champ, then I'm the one who get the call. So let me tell you a little something about this life. You can commit to the game and you can commit to fight. But the thing is that with every passing of the night, nobody actually makes it out of this world alive. So what you gotta do is put your powers to the test. Time is passing, so you better swing your time the best. So who you gonna be when the reaper come knocking? Actions speak louder than words, so stop talking. Yeah, so watch me break out of this cage. I fight now, I won't change. Yeah, and it's the passing of the days. So get back and just get up out my way. Yeah, so watch me break out of this cage. I fight now, I won't change. Yeah, and it's the passing of the days. So get back and just get up out my way. Woo!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Georgia Street Fighter 5 Scene Community Podcast Discussion Group. I'm your moderator for this event this evening. This is Shadow Ace. Of course, I always want to first thank Sir Retro for agreeing to host this discussion with me. The reason I assembled you all here to this evening is to get your views and opinions on the Street Fighter 5 Georgia scene and Street Fighter 5 in general. Blase, blase, blah, blah, blah. That was our previous introduction, but we're going on to new, bigger things because this is indeed the season finale, yo. The season finale of the podcast, episode
Woo!
13. We made it, yo.
Yes,
We made it to
sir.
13
Hey,
episodes. Let's go.
let's go.
Let's go. 13 episodes. That is what's up, man. All the coordinating and planning and messaging, DMing and getting left on read and getting uh I just not enough clout or something to even get a response back or something. I don't know what was going on, but regardless, man, we had to shuffle through all of that just to get to this point. And I'm very grateful, man, that we were able to speak with numerous members in the Georgia Street Fighter 5 scene, and just give their take on how they feel about the game and the meta in general of FGC stuff. So once again, want to thank those. I'll do an individual shout out to those particular players in an appreciation post, for sure. So stay tuned for that. But I know previously we teased this as we had a Street Fighter cross Tekken image, and that was going to relate to us actually going to speak to one of the community leaders within the Tekken scene. But fortunately, it didn't work out that way. That's okay. Things happen. People forget. It's all good. We're just gonna keep moving forward, and we got somebody that's gonna fill in their place for tonight, and they're no stranger to this, man. They're no stranger to the danger. They know how it goes around here. Our number one rule of thumb is, if you pay bills, you speak your piece around here. If somebody else is paying your bills, then I don't think we can get you on this show. But yeah, man, I'm very excited for this season finale. I just want to thank everybody for the support throughout this entire process of having making this happen. It's been over a year, I think, because yeah, we tried to space these out like every 2 weeks to try to get a new episode going. and I think at one point we it was like a 2 month period before we had a new episode. So I'm excited to see what this one is in store for us here. We tried to reach out to as many local Georgia Street Fighter players as we could. I mean, the door is always still open, man. Just got to hit us up and talk to us, and we can make it happen. Some said sure, some said no, some left me on read, some flaked, but I never expected a 100% success rate. So that's why I wasn't too disappointed when people didn't respond or didn't say anything back. So I was like, okay, and I just kept moving forward. But here we are, 13 episodes, and excluding the filler one that me and Sir Retro did, I think that was like a point 0.5 episode. But Sir Retro,
Yeah.
I want to introduce our panel for this evening. Of course, it's your boy Shadow Ace on the ones and twos. I'm saying the KIT 2022 Ultra Street Fighter 4 champion in the mix. I'm in here, man, a player, podcaster, TO, a man of many hats within the scene, and I'm glad to be here. And Sir Retro, talk to the good people.
What's up, everyone? What is going on? I am Sir Retro, the Middle of Georgia mayor of Macon. For the FGC, I can't, not the actual mayor, but yeah, yeah, definitely. Run the head TO of the Reboot Middle Georgia Swag Out Nerds scene. Been around for at least 6 years. Reboot, but well, 5 years. Yeah, 5 years reboot. But actually longer than that with the Middle Georgia scene. Definitely jack of all trades as a player, but learning to training the newcomers, and also been doing retrospective episodes where I talk about the history of Reboot and the Middle Georgia scene. So basically, that's pretty much I'm a huge enthusiast supporter of everything. And definitely, Chris, we are doing well. We're all good. We appreciate it, and glad to be here. 13 episodes, technically 13.5 with the one episode we had on the retrospective perspective, but definitely excited to finish this off and looking forward to what is to come for the future of this podcast series. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Man, it's just 13 episodes in is just that's a long journey, man. Oh, it was just an original concept idea that I had. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, you know what, because I was just wondering, man, like, yeah, why is it so dry down here? Like, what's going on with our players and stuff like that? Let me see if we can actually create a podcast to like try to talk to them, figure out how they feel about stuff. And flash forward, 9 months in, and how long ever since we first did our first episode. I think that was back in February
Yep.
this year.
Actually,
I
January, I
think
think.
January was our first episode.
Like late,
Oh
probably late
my.
January. Yeah, I
Uh,
think.
uh, okay.
So pretty
That's
much
a
we did almost like an average of one episode per month, almost. Yeah.
Yeah, we was up. Yeah, we was up there, man. But that's what's up, man. That's a testament to the growth
Mm-hmm.
and the development of the podcast, man. We just got better over time, and it was a little shaky at first, but I think everything smoothed out, and I think we're both comfortable with speaking to our good people, and getting their thoughts and things. I mean, last time we had the previous episode, episode 12, we had Big Bates and Painbot hold it down, and give their take on what was going on in the Street Fighter 5 community and the FGC meta in general. So if you want to hear the old man ramblings of Painbot and the sage wisdom of Big Bates, man, check out that episode 12. And you know what the craziest part about that is? And even though the episode was like it was a 3 hour podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
They still weren't finished. They
Oh
weren't
yeah.
done. They still had more to say. I'm
Yep.
like, wow.
Yep. So I posted in the chat right there. So you want to check out the previous episodes, then yeah, definitely for sure. Right there, there's a link to all the playlists. And man, enjoy yourselves while you're driving, while you're taking a shower, while you're at work, while you're taking a walk, exercising, whatever, man. Please, please, definitely check out each of these episodes. All of them rich with details, stories, memories, good moments, good laughs, some serious and some really good knowledge as well, and wisdom.
For sure, man. For sure. Big shout outs to Sir Retro and the Reboot Retrocade Gaming's YouTube channel for, archiving all of this history. Because if you look at as long as the podcast has been going, for, you got over 20 hours of content. So if you're driving, you make a 8-hour drive to whichever state or whichever area, you can get through a few episodes and you'll be there in no time. So that's always something to consider, man. It's also a good thing. If you're working out, you can put the podcast on loud, and you can just work out with that from there, man. But once again, if you guys want to check that out, please hit up those previous episodes on that channel, and they're there for your listening pleasure. I did mention the name though. I did mention the name from the previous episode, episode 12. One of the names was Big Bates, man. So Big Bates, you guys see it in the title card for this episode. Big Bates, what's going on, man? Talk to the good people.
What's up, fellas? It's your boy Big Bates back on the podcast. I appreciate y'all having me back. I got some big shoes to fill from Mr. Lord Iceman, who's supposed to be here, but I'm here. I wasn't doing much. I was actually running the set on KOL when y'all asked me. So I was like, all right, man, let me get done cooking and I'll jump on here. And I talked with the homies, man. It's always nice to talk with y'all. So, and also, I want to say big shout outs to y'all, man. This is not easy running these
Mhm.
podcasts and finding guests and networking and trying to get your message out and stuff like that. It's really important. And not only that, it's a community thing. Y'all not getting paid for this, so y'all spending your hard work and effort and time on this stuff. So I want to say big shout outs to y'all, and y'all really should be patting yourself on the back. Y'all, you said 13 episodes, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, 13. That's not easy, man. I be creeping on FCC podcasts too, so I used to watch like Ultra Chen's podcasts all the time. I used to listen to Coach and Casey. Shout out to those guys' podcast. And I was just happy to add y'all. Oh yeah, Mike ATL. When I was learning Tekken, I used to be all up on his podcast. I didn't say nothing, but I used to be creeping. So I appreciate all y'all trying to do stuff like this, and shout outs to y'all for staying consistent and still being here, man. So I'm honored to be able to be a part of this, man. I don't care. You don't have to worry about clout nothing with me. I just glad I was asked to be a part of it, and I'm happy to give my opinion. And I always got some shit to say about fighting games, so it's my love and my passion. So it ain't no thing for me, brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's what's up, man. I'm glad you decided to, you agreed to join us on your Sunday evening, man. You mentioned something about cooking, man. What was you over there? What was you over there cooking on, Bates?
I was working on some stuff, man. This the last time me and you played KOF, man. When you cooked me, I was like, man, you know what, man? Let me go get some ingredients. Let me go figure out how to actually play this stuff. And then I was lucky enough to talk to people like Weddle and F Kang and Pernicious and learn some things about KOF from them.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I'm on vacation from my job, so
Nice.
I've just been practicing, practicing, practicing. It feels good, man. I've been working so much. I work like upwards of 72 hours a week. So now that I'm on
Phew.
vacation and I'm chilling, it's nice to just sit down, hit buttons, actually come up with strats in KOF and like actually be a student of the game. Like I'm not in here trying to be the best KOF player. I'm trying to be a really strong player and get my fundamentals for the game right.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been learning a lot, and then shout outs to everybody who's been like willing to play me in casuals, and because I suck, but they like Malik, Sean,
Mm-hmm.
even Dragnon. We've been
Okay.
grinding it
Okay.
out, man. So I'm just happy to play those guys. They've been cooking me, and I've been just fucking throwing hands. But it's cool. It's cool, man. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot.
Okay.
I'm waiting to play Ace, but he ain't got a PC yet. So
I got you.
I
Oh,
got my PS4 though. I got my PS4 Ace. So whenever you want to play, I'm down.
oh, you got your PS4
Yeah,
with
yeah, I'm
KOF?
back. I'm back at home, so I just boot up the PS4 and we can scrap, man.
All
I,
right, well let me know what's up then. You
uh,
know what I'm saying?
yeah, I
It's
play it
I
too.
did. I
nothing
just
to it.
did. Just did.
It is. Oh,
I'll,
okay.
I'll
I
play.
got you. I got you, man. They say,
Shoot.
yo, whatever you ready to scrap, let's go, man.
Yeah,
All right,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
yeah, I
got you.
play it too.
Hey, anybody watching? Yeah, yeah, anybody watching? If y'all want to play, man, I'm down. Guilty Gear. I don't care. I got Guilty Gear, taking all that stuff on PS4 as well. So if y'all want to scrap, let me know. Of course, if you want to play Samurai Showdown, I ain't gonna turn that down either.
Oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's $20 right now on PS4.
Yeah, it is on sale. So if you want to buy Sam Show,
Deluxe
go.
edition.
It's gonna go on sale. It's gonna go on sale. It goes on sale like every other month. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and then Black Friday's coming up. So, yeah,
Mm,
man.
perfect. Oh, so earlier when Saturdays, I thought we said cooking. My first thing in my head, because talking to him for a while, I thought he was talking about steak. I'm like, cause you know he cooks steaks. That's what.
The tomahawk steak. That's
Yeah,
you thought he was on some tomahawk steak,
yeah. I'm
and
like,
he's
what?
on vacation.
Oh
I thought Bates
man.
was on cooking
Y'all thought I
tomahawk
was talking
steak, man.
about steak. I think I have been cooking steaks. Don't get me wrong. I got 3 tomahawks in the freezer right now. I'm gonna cook Handbot and Izzy, my roommate, some steaks. We're gonna do like a little celebration. I just gotta catch them when they all on their day off. Go ahead, do a dry brine on them, get them ready to go,
Just
and then I'm gonna cook it for. I wish we could fire up the grill, but
no,
it's
just
not. Grill's not really in good condition right now, so it's
we
all
should
good.
fix it up and just bring in the drink hat. Just cook me a steak, bring in the drink
Drink that.
I'm bringing a Tupperware container. Damn.
hat.
I might be able to get you a New York strip, man, but
Mm,
the tomahawks, those for special occasions. You know what I mean?
fair enough.
A special occasion, the Sam Show getting that rollback that's about to drop in a few
Mm.
months, man.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, oh yeah.
Congratulations,
X, yeah.
y'all.
Thank you, man. That's been a hard fought battle, but appreciate it.
Pioneers for the game, man. That's it can't you can't teach that, man. That's just passion.
Hmm.
But yeah, appreciate you for joining us on that on this the season finale here, man. We're just gonna talk about over a couple of things. Some we're gonna have some laughs, we're gonna have some rage. Well, not rage, but we could just it's gonna get a little passionate. But let's talk about tournaments, right? Let's talk about because there's been a lot of good little tournaments recently, man, and I think we could talk about that real quick. Before I go, because this mine's is a kind of a hard take. Retro, did you want to mention anything about tournaments?
Man, if I to tell you, man, for what I'm seeing, especially within our scene, especially with Street Fighter, it so much has changed over the years. Even within the year that we've been doing these podcasts, and you hear the stories of how everyone felt about tournaments in general. We're in this new era. Um, well, we're in this era where now you have online. You have this era where tournaments are considered, especially offline is like considered, maybe not worth as much of value in the future, or that, or for like Street Fighter, we're done with this until the next one comes, or with the idea of you got to have the certain requirements of running this tournament offline or online and everything. And of course with this, if this no, if the game doesn't have this, we're done. It and the scene pretty much have this discourse about pretty much everything. Like if you look on Twitter, like it's like, man, well tournaments are this and that. Well, that how people feel about uh, coming out to tournaments, but then there's other cases like situations with safety protocols because, whew, um, I'm not sure where you're going with this, Shawes, but uh, the idea of what's been happening lately of safety protocols and situations with tournaments, you know, it feels more comfortable being off online than offline because there's so much can go happens in person.
We're
And
not gonna sugarcoat it. We're gonna talk about the Akuma Nara she move situation. Is that where we're going with this? Retro?
I believe
That's what we
that's
easing on.
yeah,
That's what we easing on to.
yeah. I mean, let's
All right,
talk about that.
let's get it. All right, Bates, are you familiar with that situation?
Yeah, I had to be very familiar with it because it happened right when we were running climax. So
There it is.
I had
There
to
it
be
is.
very familiar with it, and I just want to first say that when these kind of situations arise,
Mm,
the first thing you need to do is get the full facts
yeah,
before anybody posts anything. And I don't think that's not something that has been pushed in the FGC culture. See, because it's crazy because when we play fighting games, if some excuse me, if somebody gives you misinformation on frame data or a character or that's not punishable, we get mad and we willing to correct it right there, right? Like somebody you don't even know somebody from the side or something like that's not true, bro. That's just not punishable. They'll just tell you like, right? We need that same kind of energy with misinformation in the FGC. And the reason I bring that up is because when I heard about this knee jerk reaction, oh, this guy's gonna start coming up and like trying to shoot up
Mm.
everything that's going on. And because I didn't even hear it. Like what I heard was, hey, this guy threatened to show up to 404 and shoot up the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that got me like, because when you take things from face value first, it got me thinking, oh shit, we got a guy in the scene that's just gonna run up the events and start shooting people. We got to make sure our players and our attendees are safe, right?
Right. Right.
So we automatically like, first thing we did, we debated on hiring police, but we went to the hotel owners and they handle it. So they got police in the area and they had people pull up patrolling. So shout outs to that
Plain
hotel.
plain clothes, right? They were like plain clothes. Were they in plain clothes or they were just because I saw someone was they were like patrolling the area.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
you
if they were
had
like
the
plain clothes
event
officers.
staff. You had the event staff patrolling, and I think you had one officer in the parking lot,
Mm.
and then they locked off certain parts of the building. So that's when we started checking people on entry and stuff like that. It wasn't like super. And the beautiful thing about it, we didn't want nobody to panic or whatever, so we didn't make it like a big like, oh man, watch out for this guy. We just kind of let everybody on staff know, hey, this is the guy. I think his name is Akumu Itachi or some shit. I don't know his name.
Akumu, Naraku, Shinyu, something like that.
Mm, yeah,
But
Akumu.
for
I'm
the
gonna just
sake
call him
of
Akumu. I'm gonna just call him Akumu.
yeah,
So
just to say
the
Akumu.
Akumu cat, they basically we told them like we showed some of our staff the picture and said if you see this guy, don't even do no drama. Just tell him, hey, you're not welcome. I'm sorry, you cannot be here, and we request that you leave. And then if he fights back, then get the hotel staff, and they have police in the area. So we were good security wise. We made sure, but the way it was presented me was incorrect because I did my research and I saw what happened. Basically, he and got him and Greg got into a beef. And if y'all see if y'all got other details, let me know. But this is what I researched. He got into a
Mhm.
beef, and it was over this chick that was gonna show up to the venue, and she got posted, and then there was a lot of drama between them at some point. I'm not gonna get into details on that.
Mm-hmm.
And he made a video saying he could pull up to Greg with a gun, Greg spot or whatever, 404 spot, with a armed weapon, and he went and get checked, or it wasn't a big deal. So from what I saw, I'm not saying when I say it wasn't a big deal, he's saying he could pull up there and nobody would know. That's what I meant by saying it wasn't a big deal,
Hmm.
and that triggered the response. But the reason I say you got to pay attention to the details is because he didn't say he would do it. He said he could. And that's a big deal because you got to be careful on who you give power. So, when you give people these powers, the power of where he can make empty threats and everybody panics and does stupid stuff is dangerous because now you don't know who's a troll and who's serious. So, with that being said, I'm gonna end this right here. Going forward, we need to build a culture of facts over fiction. Like just because you think something in some way, don't go around telling other people and making them panic. Do your research, see what happened, and then give people a detailed and plausible information that they can work with. Because being a TO is really hard. You want to protect your attendees. You want to do what you got to do to make sure your events is safe and ready
Right.
to go. So we can't cause panic and make people want to like do weird stuff. So this Akumo guy, I wish first of all, my message to him
Mm.
is you need to calm down. So I don't know what you're going through, brother, but you gotta calm down. These are just video games, and I wish the best for you, but you really need to reevaluate how you approach the social media shit and how you approach other people in the FGC. That's the first thing to him, and two, everybody in our community, we need to really get the facts right and don't give people power who don't deserve it right away. Because that is powerful that he can just say one thing and he has to get every TO that we can on tilt, and we have to do a bunch of stuff. So that's my little ending statement on that.
Yeah. Uh,
Chalk.
I
My okay. Go ahead, Retro.
Oh no, you definitely go ahead because I'll follow
Okay.
after you.
All right. So yeah, that just to add on what Bates said, there was actually a clip that was posted about him making a threatening remark to an individual about going to the venue and shooting the actual venue. Um, yeah, I know you said something about him. He can bring a weapon there, nobody would do anything or something, but there was actual evidence of him stating that he would do that particular
Who did
situation.
he direct it to?
It was originally against I forgot the gentleman's name, but I think they were like
Because the video
arguing in the
I saw,
lobby.
he didn't say a particular name or anything. He just because I just all I saw was a video, because that's what it was referenced to me. So
Mm.
in the video, he doesn't say a particular name. So did he threaten somebody?
Yeah, it was in the lobby. They were in a Tekken lobby. I forgot the name of the player that he was responding to. Um, but he made a lot of like wild, crazy comments about that man's family and stuff like that.
Mm.
And it was to the point where it was like got really sickening and disgusting. But to add on to that particular situation, just to give a little backstory about what we were talking about, um, he's a Tekken 7 player. This originally was something that I was going to try to discuss with Iceman to get his opinion on, but since Bates is filling in, he's a TO too, so it could be he'd have good insight on this as well. Anytime I want to say this right here, like anytime you're dealing with a public situation where someone's safety is threatened, of course that should be taken serious immediately. Um, people mentioned that this person did this and that in the past, and oh, why did it take so long for people to recognize and point out his behavior now and stuff like that. If someone threatens to shoot up any venue, it should be checked right then and there immediately. You don't laugh it off as oh, we're just gonna run our event. We're just gonna run the event, and he's not gonna do nothing, or people don't take it serious enough, and next thing you know, things end up happening. Anytime you see something like that, that has to get checked immediately. You know what I'm saying? We this is when you're at the point where you're bringing in law enforcement. You're notifying authorities and stuff like that of what's going on, because you can't brush stuff like that off easily. And of course, there were actually people who were actually defending this guy and saying, "Oh, well, he was having
People
a
defended
mental,
him. Who's
Oh
defending him?
yeah.
yeah, people, he said he was just having
Wow, that's
Mm-hmm. Yep.
a
crazy.
mental episode, or he's not like that. He's normally not like that. He's a nice guy and all this other crazy stuff." And I'm like, you know what? It's two sides of this war, and it's just I,
All right, I'm
yeah,
gonna tell
it
you.
gave
A
me a
wise
headache, man.
man once told me, "You can't control how you feel about things, but you can control your actions as an adult." That's the whole point of having the title adult. When you become an adult, you are responsible for your actions. I can't tell you how to feel about things, but when you're an adult, you have to take responsibility for your actions. And a lot of these, man, I ain't gonna get into this whole thing and try to get like super
Mm-hmm.
philosophical about it, but we have to start being accountable for our actions. And I really wish people would stop uh, trying to make excuses for people's actions, you know. And I would like some accountability from people who take these actions. And if they truly feel bad about what they do, they need to let it be known. Because if you're willing to put whatever you put out there into the public, you need to publicly apologize for taking the actions that you felt like you messed up on. So I'm gonna just say that real quick because to defend this guy, I don't know him personally,
Mm-hmm.
and quite frankly, I don't really want anything bad to happen. I don't want nothing negative to happen to him. Um, but what he did was wrong, and it was dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
and he needs to be held accountable for that. That that alone, right there, is because once you allow these things to happen the first time, well, you start blurring the line. Well, it was okay when so and so did it. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying we got to get the cancel police out here. That's crazy. I don't even like the cancel police.
Mm-hmm.
But what I am saying is we need to be accountable for our own actions as adults, and we can't going forward into the future. We can't just get rid of that because you got mental health or you have drug problems or you have some stuff going on. That doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the damage you're doing is there and it needs to be either fixed or acknowledged. So I'm gonna leave it at that
Mm.
in
And I
that regard.
and I will say this. I just want to know why it took for him to. I guess because how I found out about it, like just scrolling through social media, it was just off of harassing comments from a female Tekken player. Like I guess he was making harassment comments and stuff like that, and she had showed the DMs from their messages and stuff like that. I just want to know if that particular person had a history of this kind of quote unquote toxic behavior. Why did it take until
Mm.
why did it take until that situation before the hive mentality kicked in? Before, okay, now we got to get this guy out here. Now we got to get this dude
Mm.
canceled. If he has a history of being violent or something, he should have been out the door, months or years ago.
Mm.
If he has a track record of having these types of outbursts and displaying this kind of behavior, why is it that one particular situation brought so much spotlight on this Tekken player? Was it because she was a female or what? I don't understand.
Mm.
I don't understand. So I from what I was gathering, I was just reading through the comments. Oh, yeah, this guy, he's a loose cannon. He used to do this and this and this. People just waited to like kind of just jump on and dogpile and stuff like that, knowing that he's had a history of this type of behavior. But it wasn't until this situation that got brought to light, then people wanted to start try to take action against them and getting them banned from tournaments and stuff. So what I'm trying to say with to relate to what Bates was saying, because he mentioned the cancer culture, and that literally was a perfect example of being a part of the cancer culture. One person posted an exchange between the two, it went public, or people took eyes to it, it got retweeted, and it just went viral from there. It was to the point where that man's name was actually trending
Mm-hmm.
on my video game notifications. When I looked at
Same here.
subjects and stuff, his name was actually trending. I said, "Yo, what is going on?" And then that's when TOs, I guess, got wind of the situation, and then that's when they started to ban him. Oh, this player is no longer welcomed at this event and stuff like that. So it took that one particular situation for people to put eyes on it.
Mm-hmm.
When this player had a history of doing these particular events, and that's the thing I hate.
Yeah.
That's the thing I hate. It should have been stopped at the source, but the situation happened, and then that's when action got to be taken against it. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. Um. To follow up on it, because ultimately the thing is this, and actually had to deal with a situation with another person before. Ultimately, is you gotta look at it, and Akumu, like, he's a human being. So the thing about it, the obvious sign is that he needs help. He needs to, whatever situation, address, or issue that he's dealing with, it's ultimately, yes, it's ultimately up to him to get to that point. But people have to look at it and say this guy needs, mental health to be taken care of. Needs medicine, needs counseling, whatever it needs. This is speaking from a guy. So here's the thing: for me, not that I'm incapable of causing type of harm, maybe anyone, but the thing is is for me. I'm currently in therapy. A lot of people don't know. I actually do. Or some many people know in the close circle of the FGC. I'm taking therapy. That's one of the ways that, well, you can say keep sane, but that's one of the things I still try to check on myself and whatever. And that's something that is lacked. And unfortunately, we're in a situation in the social world where now everyone's on the edge because so much has changed in the social environment. So not because of even especially things outside of the FGC, but affected people within the FGC. Where the behavior, social behavior, and where there's a lack of resource and support and medicine and whatnot to help resolve that. You see what happens, and then you get to a point where the people like, well, I'm gonna lay this, let this, I'm gonna lay, I'm gonna pretty much sweep it underneath the rug, and either people are too scared to try to deal with it, or they were hoping that it can fix itself or whatever. And like I said, that's stuff with his behavior that been going on for many years. You see what led to, and like I said, it somehow took this one particular situation to now everyone react to it, and that's one thing that I really, wish hoping for, that hope at some point with the community is just learning to kind of be proactive, take precautions rather, do everything after the situation happened. And like I said, but as far as the person, unfortunately, is he has to be addressed. He needs to be helped. You know, because it's something that's going on within him that's not resolved. And whether it will take medicine or counseling to do it, that's what it will need. But if there's anyone close to him that knows him, should help him get to that point, because you don't want someone like him to get hurt or hurt somebody else ultimately if it gets to that point, or keep doing this thing where he keeps taking control of people's anxieties, social situations, and rile up everyone. And then, if he becomes a big enemy that everyone wants to get rid of. And then if you cast him out, it's not still going to solve the fact that he still needs help. So that's important for me, for someone who has currently been 3 years in therapy, that has to look at everyone who comes within our community, and everyone, because everyone is not going to be always okay 100% of the time. Everyone not going to be in the right mind 100% of the time. And what it will take is to find ways to get resources or reach out and help get to resources that is needed to resolve those problems. Because I don't see him as a enemy or the bad guy who's he's a demon or monster or whatever. He's someone that needs help, and he needs to be taken care of. Of course, yes, he has to apologize for his actions, and he needs to redeem himself. And it's possible. It's not impossible. So it just finding it was something we might have to work on, because if it's not where outside of the community people are doing enough to help and provide resources to do mental health talks or medicine, whatever like that, this is where we have to still have to work together to be proactive about that, because we don't want to have the repeat of this type of threatening and all the type of talk in the situation at all. Because with me, any type of threat or craziness on my end, I'll cast you out. At the same time, I will still reach out and say, hey, man, look, y'all need to get yourselves together. You need someone to reach out to, you get some help or whatever. And that's pretty much what we have to do, because you still going to care about the person. We have to care about people, at the same time. I may not know the person, and I may not at times feel comfortable with the person, but if it's where you have to help push them in the right direction to better themselves, you know, yeah. And if they choose not to, yes, that's on them. They have to suffer the consequences, and that's pretty much what my input is on that matter. Because as us, we reacted and kind of panicked and say, "Hey, well, we might have to do back checks on weapons and everything like that on our end because we don't have this to happen." But at the same time, I want to be hopeful and help to get that person taking, get their mental health check or whatever it is. No, if they not going to be in a good condition as they are, they have to. They unfortunately they have to separate themselves from the community or whatever until they get to the point where they can get themselves better. Yeah.
Yep, and that's always one of the telltale signs, right? It's we're more as a people, we have the fear of the unknown, right? We're quick to say,
Mhm.
well, what are the safety precautions? Is there going to be security?
Right.
Do I have to cancel my flight or cancel this that and not go to the event? The safety is fear. We don't think about the person until later. So as a collective hive mind, we like, okay, the event security is now a top priority if you see a threat. We don't really think about the condition of the person until after the situation has kind of
Mm.
simmered down. Oh, well, that person should get help, or I hope somebody reached out to that person, this, that, and the third. Well, here's my thing. Where was you at? Well, like, where was you? I mean, where were you at during? If you knew how this person was being, how they acted and stuff, where were you during that first time? The first incident.
Right.
It could have been nipped in the bud there. Hey, man, I noticed this, that, and the third about you. You seemed upset. You want to talk about it? It doesn't take much to reach out to a person. But I know everybody's not a people person. That's
Right.
for
Right.
you know
Right.
that's for sure. A lot of people aren't really social like that. There's a lot of social anxiety with dealing with people. Even if you've known someone for over the years, you just know them to be like a quiet, kind of just always stays to themselves type of person. But you never know what they're going through mentally or going through outside of the scene
Hmm.
unless they tell you. They would have to disclose that information, so we don't really know what goes on behind closed doors. There's a lot that can be going through. Somebody could put a smile on one day, and then guess what? The next hour they could get some terrible news, or they could be dealing with a bad situation an hour later. So the thing is, mental health checks. I mean, they're very important. They're very important. They're very vital, especially to the health of the FGC. Take. If you see someone who may be down in the dumps, or if someone just doesn't seem like themselves, reach out. Try to reach out to them, man. Especially if you've known them for a while. Reach out to them. Hey, man, what's going on? Is everything okay? I'm here if you need to talk, and just try to be that hero, man. You could be that one person they would need to talk to that could change the course of their next action, because they could feel like nobody would
Mm.
care about them, nobody thinks about them, or they're just better off dead or something like that. And I've actually seen people post like that. I've seen someone post like that, saying that they just don't feel like they're themselves and stuff like that. Reach out to that person, say, hey, man, everything okay, or if you need to talk, I'm here. And that could be the one step that's needed to set somebody on the path. But I just hate the fact that it took that entire situation for people just to start jumping in and dogpiling. Oh, this guy had a history of doing this. I'm like, well, come on, man. It's just disgusting to me, man. I think they're just as guilty as I think they sit in the same camp of being guilty as not doing anything, or just contributing to that person's particular breakdown. But before we move on to the next thing, did you guys have anything else you wanted to add on?
Me, I just posted the link right there while I'm at it. There is ways to get mental health and seeking help for it. Um, that's the link in the chat. So, you know, let's say you can be okay, but just in case, definitely I want to reach out to y'all and let you guys know there's a way to get help. And anyway, we will be here for you to support that.
For sure, man. You could always reach out to us, man. We're more than happy to talk, discuss a few things, because everything is not sunshine and rainbows. So we just try to take it as we can. We're fighting game players, so we're used to dealing with mix-ups and stuff. So
Yeah.
um, so we're gonna move on to the next topic here. And actually, this kind of correlates to with the previous thing we was talking about, because I wanted to tackle this. This was sharing your gaming interest with people, right? Letting people know that you play games, you play fighting games.
Hmm.
So this is a interesting topic for me, because I've always been the more laid back, calm type dude, who just like, yeah, I press buttons here and there, I go to this event here and there, but I'd never tell nobody that I've been going to these events. Like, my family would never know that I would compete unless I posted on social media.
Right.
And I think because I won KIT, I won KIT for Ultra Street Fighter 4 this past
Congratulations.
week. Appreciate it, appreciate it. I've
Oh
never
yeah,
told
good stuff,
anybody.
good stuff, good stuff,
You,
good stuff.
you know what I'm saying? Appreciate it, appreciate it. I never told anybody that I was gonna go to. I didn't tell my family I was gonna go to Tennessee to compete. I never told them that I competed.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was it's like, you know what? I'm older. I'm an older player. So you know what? Why not? Why not? I'm just gonna go for it. So I just made a post, and a lot of people gave me props and support on that, and I just never told my family that I competed. But I think that was the first time in the 10 plus years I was gaming that I actually let them know that I do game.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of I don't know I don't know would it say like I was embarrassed or like to tell them that I game? Like I just didn't know how to feel
Mm.
about telling them that I play games competitively. So
You're
what do you guys think about that?
you're not alone. You are definitely. Well, you know what? I'm gonna let Bates because he's our guest. I'm gonna let Bates go first.
Oh, yeah, beats.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand what the question is. What's the question? You,
The question is well, the topic is just sharing your gaming interests with people outside of FGC.
Mhm.
oh man, that's part of you. That's part of who you are. You shouldn't hide that. Because at the end of the day, when people are really getting to know you or you're talking to people, they're gonna figure out how you are anyway. So I never felt the need to. I shouldn't say never. I used to like. Okay, I give you an example, right? I remember my first experience with this kind of situation was when I was in high school. Back when base was like, a rambunctious teenager that played football. I used to listen to. I was a jock, right? I was a jock. So I used to hang out with the nerds, and I used to hang out with the football players, right? So a lot of my football player friends would be like, "Yo, why you hanging out with them?" And a lot of my nerd friends would be like, "Man, you just a jock because you hang out with them, right?" But I always had interest everywhere, right? So I had to learn early on, for me at least, that okay, I'm gonna just be who I am, and the people who rock with me. So situation came up where I was listening to music. We working out, we getting out, doing our thing, right? And anime opening pop up on my iPod, right? And I'm thinking like, oh shit, I forgot to switch to my try hard playlist that I just do like have for when I play sports because I know they don't watch anime.
Mm.
And while I'm listening to the Bleach opening,
Mm.
and the guy spotted me was like, "Man, you watch Bleach?" And this dude was it was I was a freshman at the time, and this is my senior. So I'm like, oh fuck, my one of the senior guys gonna rat on me that I watch anime, right? And then he
Mhm.
goes, "You watching Bleach? I mean, you listen to Bleach?" And I was like, "Ah, yeah, you know about that?" He's like, "Man, that's my shit." I was like,
Hey.
"Oh." So that right there helped me learn that, hey man, even the people you think wouldn't care about that stuff or you think have no interest, you should just be who you are because you never know the one time that somebody can respect your interests or whatever. If you never show who you truly are to people, you won't even get to meet those people, right? So at that point, I was just rocking anime stuff and I'm not like attire, but like when I want to listen to anime music, I would. I used to hide it, or like my girlfriend at the time,
Mm.
I wouldn't tell her about like me listening to it, and then I got her on anime, and we was all listening. So like
Hey.
you just have to like really take the consequence because everything got consequences. So when you have hobbies and things you like to do, just take the consequences with those hobbies because what happens is when you get around people who actually enjoy what you love, the interaction is way better
Mm-hmm.
than you having these superficial interactions with people you don't know or people who really don't care about what you're doing. Because if they don't really like it anyway, they could just brush it off and keep it moving. So thing
Mm-hmm.
with your parents or my mom, like I'm so used to my mom. When I play football, my mom only went to one game.
Mm.
You know, and my mom doesn't. She asked about the game. All she concerned about is, am I making money off of it, right?
Mm.
So when I won my first Street Fighter 4 tournament, and I told her how much money I made, she's like, "Oh, you made money? Is that something you plan on doing?" Because she was more interested after I made the money. She knew I played the game, but until I made like money,
Right.
she was not interested. And then she saw that I made money, and she was like, "Wow!" So da 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 da, right? And I started running tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started running tournaments, I was losing money, and she had a hard talk with me. She said, "Man, because I was struggling. I was struggling bad. I was down bad. If
Mm.
you didn't know me back then, I was down bad." So she was like, "Man, you really need to buckle down and stop doing these gaming things or whatever." And I just stayed true to myself, and I kept doing it because it's what I love.
Mm-hmm.
So on
Mm.
that note, I always say, man, it's way easier and way less resistance if you stay true to yourself and you let people see how you are. And you don't even have to try. You don't even have to like always lead with I like this, I like that. But if it comes up or if
Mm-hmm.
it's relevant for the situation, just be honest. Like, I like doing this and I like gaming. And if they are against it, that's fine. At least you know where you stand with your parents or how they feel about it, rather than hiding it. And then when you finally say something, it's like a big deal. You know what I mean? Because if they discover that you like games and you didn't say anything, well, now there's a break in trust because now, well, how come you didn't tell me? You see what I'm
Mm,
saying?
that's the
Right.
So
key thing. That's the key
and
thing.
that hurts more. It hurts people
Mm,
more
mm,
Mm-hmm.
when they have to discover that kind of stuff than you would have just
mm.
told them. So
Le-
to answer your question,
Yeah.
So, in other words, you'd have no problem with telling your significant other that you're a Genjiro player in Samsha.
yeah, yeah, and you know what she probably tell me? She probably tell me to pick a better character. I'm tired of watching you lose.
It is.
Real talk.
I
And then
respect it.
and
Yeah.
I would either be like, nah, that's my dude, or I'm like, yeah, you right. But you know what? At least we were both honest about. We both know what we stand on that.
Fair.
When I
Fair.
pick Indro, I know my girl is gonna be mad at me because I pick Indro, rather than I tell her I'm not gonna pick Indro and I pick him anyway, and I gotta explain myself.
Oh
You see
man.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's living. That's part of life, man. You're gonna have consequences everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's consequences. If you don't make a decision, somebody's gonna make the decision for you. So you
Mm-hmm.
might as well just take control of your own life as much as you can, and don't sweat the stuff you can't control. I can't control how you feel about me and how the things that I do, but what I can control is my actions towards what I love.
Right.
So just focus on that.
Yeah. I think the reason being because we grew up in the era at the time when, especially like, because the gaming was not a thing, much of a thing until the 80s, or like especially console or whatever. But the idea of gaming was not seen as a positive aspect of society. And
Mm,
unfortunately, we grew up in that time, in the 80s and 90s, like, because there were talks about, oh, arcades is a place where kids can get in trouble or start gang fights or drugs and stuff like that, or gaming is, is seen as not a positive thing for, is only for kids or whatever, blah blah blah. And I actually used to read so many articles. So I used to do research about how gaming does help people for the better, and I can go on about it forever. But I remember one instance was where I think Super Arcade at the time, where they tried to get a new location in California, I'm not mistaken, and to talk to the city, and the judges and people that were discussing, they're like, why you don't want an arcade or gaming area in our city? It's dumb because kids would lose interest in this. They're not, no, they're gonna get a good job. They're in this area. They're gonna get in trouble. They're troublemakers. There's nothing good about it. Blah 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 blah. And that pretty much took me back to where, growing up, my mom used to always call me a video game junkie, and I was like, we into the video game stuff. Well, this and this, we need to make friends. You need whatever. So that was pushed on me as a young kid. And of course, me as a kid, you're not going to be able to really do anything against an adult and say, oh, well, forget you, mom. I'm going to do what I want. It's unfortunately a lot of the directions of how to live your life is dictated at a certain point. Yeah, until you get a certain age where they consider you, hey, you're grown enough to do whatever you want, go live it, whatever. But as far what the environment you grow up in, and especially what we did in our generation, it felt like we didn't have much of a choice but to try to enjoy and live the life expected by people outside of our interests. And because you're more feel like you're more surrounded by them than you're surrounded by those with your interests. Of course, in high school, I found people who was same share similar interests in video games, and we pretty much formed our own group, and we were like found became our own cool crowd. And high school was pretty much that breaking point, I believe, where with the gaming and anime, same with what Bates was saying too, you know, I, but it was funny because it felt like a lot of people start coming out of this closet thing, because you have these people that are like, oh, y'all watching this Naruto, or you watching this Dragon Ball thing. That's dumb. And then we go to the computer class a few hours later, and nobody else be there, but you hear just like Japanese discussion, someone talking Japanese, and you're like, that sounds like absolute Naruto. And that same person who criticized you, they end up like, oh, look, and I'm like, oh, you watching? What you watching? And they're like, no, 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 nothing. It's nothing. And I'm like, oh, so you watching Dragon Ball and stuff like that? And that was my experience. Like people were like so closeted, they were like almost partially against it, but because they were keeping their stuff secret from others about their being enjoying what they like. And after high school, college was a different world where like everybody's like, you know what, I like this, I like this. All right, cool. And it became where you felt comfortable being around with almost anybody. And I think now we're in the current generation is at the point where everything's acceptable, more or less. Right now you have the esports industry obviously pushing things out, and you have it where you people like you can make money off of it, like you're saying. You can do this, you can get careers, you can do so much now. It's whatever happened to make it now, people in general can like, you know what, oh, they have a gaming tournament, all right, cool, that's dope. And a big example for me, Reboot. When we started having Reboot tournaments, and I wasn't sure how the people outside of the game. Well, I mean, it was ironic in the arcade bar to having a tournament, but you still have people that just came in and didn't really care about gaming, but it was like the environment. But they're like, oh, okay, they play games. All right, cool. I mean, I'm a doctor. I don't play games, or I'm whatever. I don't care about that. But I'll say one of the biggest examples, and the, man, y'all guys are loving this. Sam Show once again. I remember that room with that match. It was so hype. I remember we kept screaming. We were running around the entire venue when the scramble and stuff happened, and people outside the scene, they were like, "What is going on? This is whatever." And next thing you know, by 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, you had this whole crowd of people that try to play pinball or just drinking, just got come up their job, don't care about fighting games or gaming in general. They were so in tune to with the tournament, to you and Pingbot's match, BigBates. It was they saw us excited, and they were like, you know what, this is really dope. This is really cool. And fast forward to now, we had people that's calling Reboot. Is like, hey, when this guy's gonna do a tournament again? When will we have next tournament? I want to see this tournament. And every time, and I talk to the bartenders and the manager, we're pretty much out like as far as the trivia karaoke nights, all that goes. We're now considered the more top priority as far as in the main attraction, and the owner loves it. It's like we may not make as much money for them in comparison to other events, but we really bring in people to like who don't give a shit about gaming stuff to wanting to like call the venue and say, hey, when do y'all guys do this again? I want to see more of this. And now we have people that are outside of the gaming industry, gaming scene is like, well, I want to see a tournament for NBA Jam. I want to see a tournament for Mario Kart. I want to see a tournament for this. Y'all guys are cool, And it felt weird to me. It felt weird to me to try to now be used to expressing about myself being a gamer, and even to my family now, And I tell my mom like, hey mom, I'm now running my own tournament scene, and I do this and stuff, and now we're working with the city, and now we're working with this, and we got the best players in the world, blah blah blah. And he's like, all right, that's cool, son. As much as she used to call me a junkie many years, she now is like, I'm glad. And my dad same way, hard man, military. He he was stiff about things. Now he's like, good. I hope you get this. I hope things well for you. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. This and this. So I think, but now looking at the current era, like pretty much, you say, oh, you talk to the new generation, they're like, I play games, and they're like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, I play games too, and it's like it's natural to them because now they in their environment where gaming is more socially accepted versus how it was. Oh my gosh, 30 years ago, Jesus Christ, I can't believe. I'm 32. Damn. I'm. It feels weird, but that's how long it's been, and you see that transition over the decades now. To yeah, so I think that
Mm,
explains why we in that situation where, and it's weird still that people still feel uncomfortable expressing themselves being a gamer, and to
mm.
so yeah.
Yeah, you broke it down perfectly, man. That was exactly that was broken down to a T, man. And I just never told anybody like back then, even like people that outside of the FGC. I never told them I competed. I never told them I played this game and stuff like that. And it took me until my mid 30s to tell them, hey, I just went to
Right.
KIT and I just won this tournament. I was like, you know what? I typed the tweet up. I said, do I want to hit send? I was fighting with my energy. I said, you know what? Hit send.
Mm-hmm.
So I hit that send, and then the support started coming in, and I was surprised, and I thought it was just gonna be like, oh, you wasting your time doing this. Oh man, I thought you won real money, and I thought this, that, and the third, and stuff like that. I thought that was gonna come in, so that's why I was kind of discouraged from even making that post. But that's a good thing, man. And Bates said it too, man, as well. It's like it's just with you being honest with yourself as a person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you should have to hide what you enjoy. I don't think if you like, if you watch, you watch anime and stuff. Um, Now, can you bring that up to your significant other? You can mention that, sure, but again, it depends on how the person's going to take that information because not everybody takes the information the same way, and they're not going to react how you think they would react the same way. They may look down on you
Mm-hmm.
just because you play games or that you watch anime or you listen to this or you do this. But basically, anything that you do that's not quote unquote considered the norm,
Mm-hmm.
they may look down on it. So it's always a gamble when you try to introduce that information to somebody. But like Bates said, like you and Bates said, like if you get it out, you let people, you let them know early. It's not gonna be a surprise come later on because they might say you see you playing a game and be like, okay, yeah, I remember he told me he played the game and stuff like that. And the fact that it's kind of like a 50-50 toss up. Like some people will support it, some people will look down on it.
Right.
And because they'll say it's at the end of the day, FGC, the gaming stuff, that's just a hobby, the hobby that people enjoy. It dictates whether how much time you put into it. That's also a different story. They may look down on it because you play too many games, or they may look down on it because you're going to travel to an event just to play a video game. And I've
Mm-hmm.
actually heard that before. My brother, he's not too supportive of me playing fighting games. So
Mm-hmm.
he thinks that I'm wasting my time doing that stuff. He's like, oh, you're going to go out of town, just to play fighting, stuff like that. And I just brushed it off and shrugged it and just still do what I had to do. At the end of the day, it's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm an adult. I pay bills.
Yeah,
I make
Mm-hmm.
sure there's food on my
Oh yeah,
table.
yeah.
I make sure there's
yeah,
clothes on my back. I make sure my hot water is running.
Hey.
I take care of my responsibilities, so I am allowed to enjoy the hobby that I decide to
yeah. You
enjoy.
pay your taxes. And
Hey.
by
There
the
it
way,
is.
honestly, your brother is not wrong for telling you that, and I'll tell you why he's not wrong for telling you that.
Talk to me, Bates. What's up?
Mm-hmm.
He's telling you that because that's the only way he knows to be protect. Like he truly believes him telling you that is gonna help you. So it's like we do things. We only can do what we know and believe in, right?
Right.
So if he only knows that video games are unproductive, he's gonna tell you that kind of stuff because he hasn't seen the other side or he hasn't seen what it does for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is once again goes back to it's important to just be honest about what you like and do because those people don't get to see those things because they're not exposed to it. So perfect example. Look at anime now. Anime is like a regular
Oh
common
yeah,
thing
yeah.
now, right? But video games are common now. And even when I talk to regular people who
Mm-hmm.
probably have nothing to do with it, they think that you make a bunch of money. Like so you get the opposite, right? I
Right.
talk to some people, I'm wasting my time, I'm wasting my time on video games, right? And I talk to other people, oh man, you must be making a bunch of money,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's all about what people are exposed to. And by hiding what you do, you're denying those people of exposure to what you like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into a lot of different stuff. I like the drum. I like sumo wrestling. I like video games. I
Mm-hmm.
like cooking. You know,
Hey.
if I just like hide all of that about myself, then you would
You're
never
not
know
Bates.
the talk. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love talking. I talk to people about all those hobbies. I got even more hobbies than that. Like I'm thinking about motorcycles. I think motorcycles cool as fuck right now.
Dude,
I've been
that'd be
looking at
dope.
motorcycles.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, but like if you hide those things about yourself, you can't expose people to that. And that's why I'm so adamant on like exposing people to Samurai Showdown or whatever game I like.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they reject me or say that game is trash, it's okay. That's fine. At least they got to see it. Because maybe one day, a year and a half, 2 years down the line, they're gonna say, you know what? I changed a little bit. I want to try it. Oh, I love this game now. I wish I loved it more. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So um, just be case in point, just be yourself. Obviously, everybody's got different
Yeah.
circumstances, different strokes for different folks. But your brother is not like your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm not saying that's what you're saying, Ace, but we all like people get mad at people for see people doubted me, but I was right. No, man, don't look at it like that. Look at it like you stay true to yourself, even though they told you not to do it. You still did it because you believed and it worked out. So pat yourself on the back, but don't be mad at those people because they're only doing their best to give you advice. Like your brother just wants to see you succeed, or your parents just want to see you succeed. So they think those things are not conducive to your success, but in reality, they just don't know where it goes or what it does for you. So
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
don't take it in a way where, oh, they're against me or they're my enemies. No, I hate seeing stuff like that because your family, for the most part, everybody's got different family, especially me, but for the most part, they say stuff thinking that they're giving you good advice. And it probably is bad advice. And for the most part, it is bad advice. But they're just telling you what the best they can, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever somebody gives me an ignorant opinion or opinion I know um has no weight or value to it, I still listen to them because I know they're trying their best, right? So
Mm-hmm.
just don't think of it as like and then when you prove them wrong, they'll be on your side. Oh man, you made $200 in this tournament. Ah shit, I thought you would. Man, good stuff, man. That's cool. When's the next one?
Yep.
I want to see. I want to watch. I want to watch the next one. It's like
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
okay, you see what I'm saying? So I ain't
Yeah.
worried about all that. Just do you, man.
Yeah.
Just do you.
Yeah.
I'll say like
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rich.
that's how I want to I want to commend you, Shadow Ace, and Big Bates. Like I said, especially with said the Sam Show tournament was there was a tipping point to how much respect the scene got for being that attraction to what the scene is all about. And I said it's still my favorite moments to this day. So I'll commend you and Paintbot definitely for that, and I commend Shadow Ace for the podcast series because I talk about this on my job now. I have my supervisor to wanted to listen to it every time she's at work,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, so that's why you get more views. Cause I was talking about it at my job, like, yeah, we had people from Augusta, we had this cool player talk about this, but we talk about serious facts and so forth. So thank you for allowing me to be able to be involved with something because I'm at the point where you can't tell me shit at this point. Like I'm gonna do what I want to do, or
Go ahead,
Oh
Retro.
no,
Talk to him.
really, no, no. It needs to be that way
Oh,
right.
talk
because
to him, man. Yo,
people unknowingly try to steer you off your path,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
and you have to. This part of being an adult, is part of being a man, it's part of being your life, man. Life is
It's you.
like I
It's
said,
you.
it's
It's who
you.
you
Yeah,
are, yo.
exactly. You gotta live this. Can't nobody live your life better than you because you're the only one that can live it.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
just do what you can. Just do what you can
So thank you
and
guys.
enjoy it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
to
brother, no
people who
problem.
maybe what I'm saying, who may feel a little discouraged. At first, I kind of felt it, but then then I thought about it for a while, and I'm like, you know what? This is me. It's
I
me.
like it,
It's who I am. You know what I'm saying? If I enjoy it, I'm gonna enjoy it.
bruh.
Because you don't, you might not, like it. You may think it's a waste of time. That's on you. Am I hurting anybody? No. Am I causing, any kind of physical harm to anything or like destructing any kind of environment? No. I'm just sitting there. I'm playing a game. He asked me. He was like, "Yo, he asked me one day. I was like, yeah. this tournament, it's a tournament going to on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really want to tell him that I was gonna go to a tournament on Saturday. I just said like, yo, I'm busy on Saturday doing something. Now I'm thinking about it. Why did I not tell him what I was going to do on Saturday? Like, could I not have said that I was going to a tournament? Because I felt like if I told him I was gonna go to a tournament, then he probably would be like, "Oh, you wasting your time,"
Mm-mm.
stuff like that. So it's kind of there's people that are going to be on your side, and then there's people that's not going to be on your side,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of anything you do. And gaming has presented a lot of opportunities to a lot of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, they've gotten them jobs, they've set them on
Mm-hmm.
careers
Yes.
and stuff like that. I know someone who just because they was gaming, just because they saw them playing some games, they got a job in IT just because of that. Just off of the strength of that. So I'm like, you never know. It's a networking. It can be a networking opportunity too as well. That's why events like DreamHack is a good networking event. You see a
Yes.
bunch of different, a bunch of different companies
Mm-hmm.
doing demonstrations and trying to advertise their products and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure they got business cards. You go to that event, you get a business card or whatever. Let them know, network, see who you are. You might have a connection on LinkedIn or something. So it's just about being comfortable with who you are and what you represent, man. Just know yourself, know what you can do, and yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about that particular topic. Did you guys have anything else to add before we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
No, I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Good.
I'll say one little last thing. Was that 'cause I pretty much popped off when I saw you win that Ultra Street Fighter 4, and I was going to spread the word to everyone on all social media. 'Cause I was proud of you, dude.
Oh man, I appreciate that, man. That was
No,
a
you
that
just
was a heartwarming moment, man.
yeah,
And I will tell y'all this, I kind of did shed a tear. I ain't
you,
gonna lie.
yeah.
Yeah, when they handed me the trophy, I had to take a seat for a little bit, and I had to shed a tear because I never had won something like that before. So that kind of caught me off guard. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, that was definitely a good event, man.
Yeah, man. Like that was your first one. I mean, I'm sorry, not your first one. That was the last KIT,
Mm.
and you've been playing. You've been doing. This year has been super eventful for you. Don't think I have
Oh
been.
hell yeah. I,
Ace been really stepping his game up this year, doing a lot.
mm-hmm.
So all you do was collecting the fruits off the tree,
Yes, sir.
and that fruit was very sweet when you
Yes,
won it,
indeed. Mm-hmm.
and you deserve it. You know what I'm saying? And shout outs to you because you beat Omega Tom Hanks, right?
Hmm.
I haven't beat him in tournament yet. So the
Damn.
fact that you beat him, I was like, damn, got his ass. Let's get it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man, it
yeah, man.
was.
Shout outs to
Mm,
you.
Yeah. Because
You
I appreciate that,
yep.
man.
That's why
Appreciate
I
that.
pop
Thank
off.
you.
I pop off, especially for our scene. I always pop off. I just express it when, like I said, especially like if when FGC Chris, making now taking games off players that after I've been training him for a while, you know, when Big Boss DP was taking off games of Pork Chop, and when Hutch made one of his tournament at Evo, one of his first some of his match on stream on Evo, I popped off so I was loud at that point. I like being with the FTC pushed me further to be more proud of as a gamer and who I am, and that
Mm,
really why I really pretty much dedicate part of my life to the scene because it, like I said, it always has helped me become who I am more. And said without you guys, while is Bates and shout is out y'all guys guidance and in addition to Darius on over that bit and Dogi and Coach and whoever and everyone else in the scene, you know, y'all guys allowed me to be who I am, and now you push me further to express who I am to the rest of the world, and that's why I pretty much like whenever I pop off, it'd be like a little win, but I go crazy about it because I'm like, you guys need to hear me. This is, hey, this is who I am. You're gonna respect. I don't care what y'all guys say about me. This is it. So yeah,
this is. Hey,
this.
do you, man? 100%. Do you, man? If you can't be yourself, man, then who are you?
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing I always say, man. If you're afraid to express yourself, if you're afraid to, just if you gotta hide emotions and stuff like that. You're not you. You're not yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So the I let it everything let it rock.
Yep.
Just let it rock, man. So and you think about it, how you had growth as a person, right? Compared to yourself, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, you might not have been as vocal, right? You might have been just a little bit more on the quiet,
Oh yeah, it was.
calm side. Now, flash forward to now, you're more, bra- what's the word I'm looking for?
You can say brave. No, I'm
Brave. Okay, we'll say
for lack
we
of a
can
better
say
word.
brave. We more
Confident.
confident. There it is. That's right. That's right. There it is. The confidence. It was a C word that was coming out there. Yeah. The confidence is at an all time high, man. And that's a good thing. That's just the growth of your character as a person. And I think that gaming can help out with that big time, right? Big time. It's just gaming can be a bridge of sharing networking with sharing people with common interests, right? You might start off, you just might not know nobody, right? You go to an event, you're just quiet to the self, to the side, don't really say anything. But if you're talking to people who are playing the same game as you, like-minded individuals, you network. You may see them at another event next time, and it just kind of just grows from there. And then 4 to 5 years from now, you a top content creator. And remember, you started off, you ain't say nothing to nobody. I'm just using it as an example,
Yeah.
but I'm just letting you know how gaming can impact you in a positive way too, as well. So that's it, man. I'm glad we touched bases on that particular topic. As far as sharing your gaming interests with people. Nate said he has no problem with letting his significant other know that he plays Genjiro and Samurai Showdown. You know what I'm
Look,
saying?
man, I make my decisions and I live with them.
There it is. And Retro has no problem with telling the good people that he runs Reboot.
By the way,
Runs
you're not
runs.
gonna sit here and act like I don't be cooking people with Genzo. I don't appreciate
No,
that.
no, no. That's the point.
No, no, that's not the point I was trying to say, man.
No,
I'm just
no.
saying
He
you're a
talking to
Genjiro
me.
I was
player,
just
man.
trolling. I was just
Oh,
trolling, bro. I
okay,
was just trolling. I
okay.
really am just trolling. I was just
No,
trolling.
just talking about the conversation we have with paintball and them, just about the character. That's why it just be
Yeah,
killing me.
yeah, yeah. No, no, the character's trash. Yeah, the character's trash. I'll be the first one to tell you he's trash. He's trash. He's trash.
I mean, I play low
That's
tier
the
characters,
most.
so
That's the most overrated trash character I've ever seen. Like every time I make him look so good, people ask me if he's still top tier. It's okay. It's a compliment. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Damn,
hmm
he's that bad of a character. Damn.
Yeah, he's terrible. He's terrible.
mm.
Everything is punishable. I'm not gonna get into this, but everything I literally have nothing that can't be killed. So it's all good. I be embracing death for real out here. I really do.
All
You gotta be
right,
brave,
man.
man. You gotta be brave.
You gotta be brave,
hmm
man.
hmm
Brave and confident in yourself, man. Always believe in yourself.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If nobody believes in you, then you believe in yourself. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next topic here. And speaking of believing in yourself, this is gonna be an interesting conversation. Being the best in Georgia. Being
Who?
the best
Oh
in
man.
What?
Atlanta, in Georgia, the state of Georgia.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about it because we get this thrown around, this topic thrown around a lot, and I'm getting tired of seeing it.
I don't
One of
know,
the first
Ace.
thing I'm gonna pop off
I
with.
don't.
Oh, I'm
Can
sorry. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna ask the best in Georgia about it. So Ace, being the best Street Fighter Five player, what is that like?
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm about to cook. I'm about to cook. Retro. I know you probably saw this conversation in the chat,
Lord have
but
mercy.
yeah, I'm about to cook. Look, man,
Go
I'm
for
gonna
it.
get this. I'm gonna say this right now, man. Get that best in Georgia nonsense out of here, man. Okay, just get that out of here. Let's get that idea of this player is the best in Georgia out of here. The
hmm
reason why I say that, this is pertaining to the Street Fighter scene. This is the Street Fighter 5 podcast. So
Yeah.
this is pertaining to the scene. I don't want to hear people saying Shadow Ace is the best Street Fighter 5 player in Georgia. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I don't
Why
want.
not,
I don't
man? You
like
don't want the
reading it.
responsibilities of being the best? Is
No,
that what that
I'm
is?
not the. But I'm not the best. I'm not the best. If I can't beat this particular player in a first to 10 or this particular player in the first to 10, can I say I'm the best? No,
Mm.
Okay.
you
Can
can't.
I? Okay. All right. Cool. It's cool that you said that. All right. So first off,
hmm
does a first to 10 really prove you the best?
It proves that you're confident enough to get a W in the first 10. Yes, if it seems that you're confident enough,
I disagree. I say first tens don't prove shit.
Hmm.
you can lose the first to 10 and still be the best player in the state. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you can.
I disagree because you're the best. The best
Okay,
shouldn't
cool.
lose.
Cool, 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 cool,
Okay.
The best
cool.
shouldn't lose.
Let's okay, cool. Let's debate this because I like these kind of debates.
Let's get it.
What makes you the best?
I didn't say I was the
No,
best.
no,
I
no,
never
no. I'm
said I was the
saying
best.
In
like
general,
if you were the
Oh, you
best
want a
in
definition of
general.
what I think is the
Yeah, if you
best?
were the
yeah.
best in general, what makes you the best?
All right. My definition of being the best is being a
And I'm not.
player.
By the way, I'm just talking about the best in Georgia. By the way,
Okay, okay, all right. We're keeping it within Georgia.
because
Okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
within
yeah.
the
Because if you're just talking about in general, then there's a lot of factors. But your topic was specifically Georgia. So,
it
what
was
makes
good.
you the
That's
best
fair.
in Georgia?
The fact that I'm able to that I compete at all of these local events.
Okay, I'm saying your idea of the best player
My
in Georgia.
idea
What
of
is your ideal? Like, how would the best player in Georgia look to you? Is what I'm asking.
within
Like,
Georgia, right? No,
yeah,
no
yeah, yeah,
other.
yeah.
Okay, the best player in Georgia will be able to beat every player in Georgia without no questions asked.
Off the
That's
cuff, it
my
wouldn't
idea.
matter.
That's my idea. That's my idea of being the best. Is you're able like nobody should be able to compete with you at a particular level. Like they're not
Okay,
like you should win every first of 10 with the score being either 10-6 or 10-7.
okay. So, do you know what my idea of the best player in Georgia would be?
Listen,
My idea of the best player in Georgia would be somebody who has the ability to win every tournament in Georgia
Hmm.
rather than a first to 10. Just because you can beat everybody in a first to 10 doesn't mean you can win a tournament. How many
Mm.
times I got to go to a tournament and see people drop combos, get nervous, or can't play under certain conditions
Hmm.
and lose that tournament? Or if you're the best player in Georgia, sometimes you can go to losers bracket, come back and win anyway.
Hmm.
So just because guess what, man? Nobody really cares if you can win all your first to 10, but you can't go to a tournament and win that tournament. And I've seen this 1,000 times. A lot of people don't know about like Street Fighter 4 days back when like Punk. I guess like a lot of people who be cooking in five right now.
Hmm.
Back in Street Fighter 4, they didn't go to shit and they used to get cooked in tournament,
Yeah.
you know. But they were still like considered one of the best play. Like they were still like online, they were considered like the best. But when they went offline, they got cooked and they lost that title.
Hmm.
So just because you can win a first to 10 online or offline doesn't mean you can win a tournament. Because guess what? Tournaments are partly luck. And if you can win tournaments, if you can win all tournaments in Georgia, which are only 2 out of 3, they're not first to 10. They're only two. So I gotta do is you in a first to 10, I could go up 5 games on you. You come back 10 and win the whole first to 10, right?
mhm.
But I cooked you for them 5.
Hmm.
In tournament, it's 2 out of 3. So nobody would see those other 10. They would only see the 5 that you got cooked, which would be grand finals and losers finals, right? So what I'm saying is in tournament, sometimes you gotta play in a loud environment.
Hmm.
Sometimes your controller fuck up. Sometimes you forget to do your buttons, whatever. People in your ear. The
Why
environment.
you had to bring
No,
that up?
I'm just saying.
That's
I'm
messed
just
up,
saying.
man.
There's a lot of
I had to
factors
set my
that
buttons, man.
go.
Why you had to bring
There's
up the
a
button
lot of just
situations,
just
man?
just listen.
All
There's
right,
a
listening
lot
to
of
you. Go ahead.
factors that go into tournaments that you have to show up and perform. So if you can show up to a tournament, win your 2 out of 3s in that tournament, sometimes the seating's fucked up. Sometimes you got to play the second best player in that tournament, and you still win.
Hmm.
And every tournament I throw you in, you can win in those crazy. You at a bar, you at a game bar, you at a card shop,
Hmm.
you're outside, you're in the bathroom. I don't give a fuck wherever that tournament is at. If you can win in those environments, that means more to me than whatever bullshit first to 10 you're doing because them first tens always end up going. There's not tournament format. I could just be like, I want to try this, or I could get tilted over some shit that you wouldn't get tilted about in a 2 out of 3 setting. You see what I'm saying? You might drop a combo and lose a whole 2 out of 3 just because you frustrated about that dropping a combo. So I don't look at first to tens as what decides who's better. Personally, I look at, can you go to a 2 out of 3 tournament and win out in random scenarios? And if you can do that, to me, you're the best. If I can look at whatever tournament you go to and you win, and you win, to me, that makes you the best in Georgia because you're winning in person in those environments, not some online first to 10 or some we just got done playing the tournament. I get to chill out and play a first to 10. Money matches can be discussed too, but that's a whole nother. Like if it was a first to 10 money match and you win, maybe because there's some pressure there, there's something on the line. You can play under those conditions. I respect that. But if it's just some off the cuff casual first to 10, I don't give a fuck about that. Good for you. You won. What about a 2 out of 3 setting? Can you do it? Nope, that's tournament setting. So hold that. And
Best to me. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, and then I was gonna close on this. There's a key word here though. You have to go to those tournaments. If you don't fucking go to those tournaments, you don't count. You don't count. You don't count. If you're not going to these tournaments and winning them on a consistent basis, you don't count. And I get that those some players who used to be the best go to those tournaments and they play, but if they're not going, you're not the best. I
What
don't
was the
care.
last? Repeat
I
the
don't care
last
if
line
they.
you just said. Repeat the last line you just said.
Oh, okay.
You gotta do what? What you gotta
If you
do?
don't go and compete, you're not the best anymore. You're not the best anymore because you're not competing anymore. I don't care if you could come out of retirement and win. You're not the best anymore because you're not there. So you're irrelevant. That's myself included. I don't go to shit no more like that. I don't compete like how I used to. So I can't say I'm this or that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I go to majors and I play at those. But who cares? We're talking about the best in Georgia.
Best in Georgia.
The best in Georgia. And by the way, I'm of the mindset, who gives a fuck if you're the best in Georgia? Because if you go to a major and get cooked, I don't care what you are. You made us all you made us let us know that Georgia ain't shit. Because you couldn't even make it out of pools. So that whole best in Georgia title, it don't mean a fucking thing until you can
Doesn't mean.
like
It doesn't
it
mean
doesn't
nothing.
mean shit.
It don't mean nothing.
But people
Does
get tilted about who's top 10 in Georgia. Who cares? Who fucking cares? Because when I see you at a major, you getting cooked. So who cares?
Tell him.
flame broiled.
Who cares?
Both
Yeah.
sides.
Like it doesn't matter. Because when you enter a tournament, your goal is not to make it out of. Oh, some people go and make. But if you say you're the best in Georgia, then we're looking at you like, well, when you play in a major, how do we stack up against the rest of the other states? Oh, you got cooked. We trash. So you
Supposed
just
to
the
be the best
best
in Georgia.
in a trash state. That's what you saying. So that's what
That's a
I'm getting at. It's like it don't matter. Like
Oh
people
my
who get all
god.
tilted about who's top 10. I'm just keeping it
Hey.
real, man. I'm just not to call because we have great players out here. First of all, let me get that straight.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah.
have solid, top tier winning players in Georgia. But what I'm saying is, if your only goal is to be the best in Georgia, and you go get cooked out of state, it meant nothing. You see what I'm saying? So that's why when Ace loses in Sam Show out of state, we get tilted because it's like, well, damn, that was our assassin, and he didn't make it. You know what I mean? So that reflects on us. It's not just our best player; it's how well is your body of players in that state. And if our lowest, I would respect more if our weakest player, not calling Ace the weakest player, but if our weakest player can go to another state and cook everybody, then our best player going to another state and cooking everybody. You see what I'm saying? Like if
I like.
If Ace goes to Tennessee and cooks everybody in Sam Show, that means more to me than Neil going to Tennessee and cooking everybody. Because we already know Neil gonna cook. But Ace can cook too. We in there.
Yep.
Shit, we got down restaurant out there. You can't fuck with us. You can't fuck with us. So that's why this whole like top, not the completely X out the top 10 or the best player, but it doesn't matter to me because what I really care about is, are our players in this state good enough to go anywhere? Who's our worst player? Can he go out there and cook everybody? Yes, we the best. Fuck it. You can't even beat our worst player. We the best. Like, look at the Mexican KWF players. They send whoever. They don't give a fuck. They just pick one. Hey man, y'all go out there. And they gonna cook everybody. They gonna
Collecting
win everything.
souls. They collect souls. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, they gonna win everything. We say, oh, that's a Mexican player in KOF. Oh, he played with the AR boys. Oh, he played with Paco and them. Ah, we fucked, man. It's over. It's over. Just Like
That's it.
who can take a
That
game?
feeling right there. That's the feeling. That's the feeling of best in Georgia. That's the feeling of best in Georgia. I will say that if you could go to a tournament and you can guarantee that this player is going to win the tournament just because their name is in a bracket, no matter what the seeding is, that's that to me. To me, that is what being the best in Georgia
So
is.
you agree that the first to 10 don't mean shit?
Mm.
I converted you. It's cool. I won this debate. Y'all want to go to the next topic?
No, 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 no,
Well,
no.
hold
Hold
on.
on, hold on, hold on, hold
No,
on,
he
hold
just
on, hold on,
admitted
hold
that
on,
he
hold on,
just
hold
said
on, hold on.
tournament.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Wait.
You know
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
saying?
You
The
mentioned
water's
tournament. You didn't say nothing about
look.
that. You said first
Look.
to
The
10.
water was boiling. I put the noodles into the water. It says the noodles are in the pot right now, Bates. I didn't even put the seasoning into the pot
All
yet.
right, go ahead. I'll
You gotta
let you
let me
speak.
cook, yo.
I'll
You
let
gotta
I'll
let.
let. All right,
All right,
there
there
you
you
go.
go.
Let
Let
me
me
brother.
stir. All right, let me stir the noodles up real quick.
Yeah,
What
go
I
ahead.
was saying, the first to 10, like again, if you can consistently, regardless of the skill, regardless of skill level, if you're washing everybody in first to 10s, if you can do that within the state that you're in consistently, yeah, yes, then at that point you would be considered the best of tournament. However, I got your point where you saying, well, it's a 2 out of 3 scenario in tournament. That's true. A lot of things can happen in a tournament. Like a good player can lose to a bad player in
In
tournament
tournament.
because of that one or two mistakes. Now, does it make that good player bad because they lost to a quote unquote bad player? I'm asking you a question, babe.
Um.
Take your
Hmm.
time. Take your time.
Good and bad is subjective because I've seen good players lose to bad players, and I still know that player's better, right? So here's my. Actually, you're proving my point even more, right?
How? Okay. All right.
And I'll tell you why you're proving my point even
All right.
more.
Talk to me.
Because a good player can lose to a bad player in a tournament setting, wouldn't you think it's more valuable that a person who consistently wins every tournament is winning everything versus in a first to 10 where those players have more sample sizes to keep playing? So if the odds are stacked against you, like think about it. What do you have? What does a bad what is the circumstance a bad player has a better chance at beating a good player? In a 2 out of 3 or a first to 10?
3.
It's obviously it's 2 out of 3, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that you can still win everything, you're the best. Can't nobody fuck with you because the odds are stacked again and you still winning. Bad seeding. You got to play the best player right off rip and you still winning. You a beast. We ain't got nothing else to talk about. Oh, first to 10. It's like you were talking to somebody in the background or you wasn't paying attention and he got like 4 games and all of a sudden you start paying attention. You win first. Like they can still get
First to
games
10.
off you.
First to 10 shows longevity. It shows stamina. It
No, it
shows
doesn't.
at is
No, it doesn't.
what?
First 10. You know
What?
why? You want to know why I
Go
say
ahead.
it
Go ahead. Go
doesn't?
ahead.
You want to know
Go
why I
ahead.
say
Go
it
ahead. Go ahead.
doesn't?
Go ahead. Go
Because
ahead.
we don't count first to 10s. We don't.
Why are we not counting
How many
first to
first to
10s,
tens did you
Bates?
win this year?
Damn.
How many first to
How
tens did you
many?
win? Hold on. How many
How many
first to tens did you win this year? How many first to tens did you win this year?
against you?
No, no, no. Well,
Hold on. I got my.
we haven't played first to tens.
We played the first to 10 before.
And what game? Oh, yeah, Street Fighter Five.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
played
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
We
Sure.
played. We played a lot of matches.
I'm talking about that people who care. So how many first to tens have you won this year? How many first tens have you won this? You probably can't count, right?
Because I haven't played nobody in the
You don't
first to 10.
care. You don't care.
I
No,
could.
you don't care.
I
But how many tournaments do you have you won?
Oh,
wait.
oh, no, no, no,
Do
no,
you
no.
see
I'm
what I'm
sorry. I take
getting at?
that
You
retro,
see what I'm
retro.
getting
I
at?
take that back. I take that back. We did do the exhibitions. I'm sorry. I apologize.
See,
Yeah,
oh
we
no, no,
did
no,
do.
he proved my point again.
No, no, listen, listen,
Retro,
listen, listen.
retro.
No, I'm
No, no,
saying
no, no, no,
I had
no.
to
It's
remember. I
proven.
had to
No, no,
remember.
but
I
think
I
about
was
it.
in Retro's
No, but you
exhibitions.
just proved my point. You did those
How?
exhibitions and you don't give a fuck about them because you can't remember them. But if I told you if I asked you how many tournaments you won, you care. It means something to you. Them first tens don't mean shit, is what I'm saying. You don't care about winning the first 10. You care about winning the tournament. And that's what I'm getting at. The tournament means more because
I
the
care.
odds.
Oh, I'll
Man,
tell you what
I
I
just
care about.
asked this man how many
I
first
care
tens he
about
won. He couldn't
numbers.
remember.
I care
I
about.
asked
I
him,
don't. The first 2 out of 3.
bro.
Like I said,
I
2 out of
want
3
you to
is a
give a
gamble. It's a
passionate.
luck gamble.
I watched you give a passionate speech about how you felt after winning KIT. And I mentioned first to tens and you forgot about all the exhibitions.
Because I had to remember. I didn't forget. I had to remember.
You didn't
Forgetting
forget that
was
KIT win.
no. Forgetting would have been me. No, forgetting would have been me not even mentioning it. Retro would have had to say, "Hey, Ace, don't you remember you
You still
competed
didn't give
in
me
my
how many. You
exhibitions
still didn't give me a number on my question.
about tournaments, about
Yeah,
winning
no, no,
tournaments?"
no. How many first to tens have you won? You can't
I,
count because you've done so many. It doesn't matter.
I mean, those are games that I just played. I mean, you're right. I didn't.
They don't
I mean,
matter.
I,
That's
I
what
mean,
yeah, they're not as important to you as tournament wins.
I don't
Like,
remember the tournaments. I just play.
oh, you don't remember KIT?
I mean, I remember at KIT that was a
Oh
monumental
my
occasion.
god! All right,
That was
man.
a
All right.
special occasion.
Yo,
That was a
retro,
special occasion.
retro, retro. Do you see what I'm getting at?
I get it. I think
Okay, now check this out. Check
now.
this out,
All
guys.
right,
Hold on.
Oh yeah, go ahead, retro. Go ahead.
go ahead, retro. Go ahead. You got it.
I would say it's both. It's I think it's consistency in both tournaments. Yes, but I want to count first to tens because there are. All right, now this is out. Now I know this is probably more of Georgia, but there's a player who in tournaments may not even make it to top eight, but consistently can make the top eight and has done so and done so recently. But in first to ten, that he will tear you apart every time.
Now let
Daigo.
me ask you this:
Hold on,
Why
I
is it?
got a
Oh,
quick
I'm sorry.
question,
Go
real
ahead. Go
quick,
ahead. Go
Ace.
ahead.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I
Go ahead.
know you're the host,
Yeah,
but
we cooking
I'm
right
gonna
now. We
just I'm
cooking.
gonna
Let's
get
get it.
this
Let's
off
go.
my chest.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If check this out, Ace, because this is a big thing about first to tens, right? Let's say me and you play Dr. Bonnie, right, in the first to ten, right?
Hmm.
Uh,
And you get cooked by Dr. Bonnie, but I cook Dr. Bonnie, and then I play you, and you cook me in the first 10, right? So who's the better player?
Me, because I will run. I
No,
won
no,
two
no, no,
tournaments.
because you
I
got
won
cooked
two
by Dr.
sets.
Bonnie. Hold on. You got cooked in the first 10 by Dr. Bonnie. I cooked Dr. Bonnie in the first 10. So
And
the
then
nigga that cooked
I
you, hold
played
on, hold
you.
on,
I,
hold on.
I
The
played you. You
God,
the one that
but
cooked.
listen,
Okay, go ahead.
listen,
Go ahead.
between all three of us, if I cook Dr. Bonnie, you get cooked by Dr. Bonnie, and then you cook me, is Dr. Bonnie the best? Because he cooked you. He beat
But you,
you.
but you cooked
But
him.
yeah, so who's the best?
The
It
person
doesn't
who's doing.
matter who's the best. It
I
doesn't
got you.
matter
It don't matter
because
now.
it's between the players. I might be better at playing you than you know how this goes. Remember Street Fighter 4? I was able to beat Joey, the young player. I was able to beat Joey. Adam was able to beat me, and it would
You
just
beat
rotate.
Adam. Have you beaten Adam before?
Yeah, I've beaten Adam before, but Adam used to beat me more, and I used to beat Joey more. Like I have a winning record against Joey, but Joey was cooking everybody because Young was busted, right?
Uh,
But Adam was winning everything, right?
uh.
So just because I could cook Joey, but Joey cooked Adam, who was better? You don't know. It's only who could win that tournament. And we can legitimately say at the end of Street Fighter 4 that Adam was the best. Neon Verte was the best at the end. And Joel had his time. Joel was cooking everybody too, right?
Till Neon took
So
over.
till Neon took over, right?
Yeah.
But I would be able to beat Adam in tournament, or Joel would be able to beat Adam in tournament. But who was winning the most tournaments? Neon Verte. So guess what? We go by tournaments. We don't go by first 10. I don't give a fuck about no first 10. And you don't either. You just don't know it. I'm telling you. You just don't know it. Not to say that first 10s don't matter,
Well,
but
the,
not to say that first 10s
Nah.
don't
I can't.
matter.
I can't agree with that one right there. And
That's
I'll
fine,
tell
man.
you why. And I'll
I'm
tell you
listening.
why.
I,
All right. So I got my seasonings in real quick. Let me go ahead and get the vegetables real quick. Throw
oh,
it into the pot.
okay.
All right. So we're making this stew real quick. All right. So in that scenario, you're getting more matchup experience versus a first to two. A first to two is a panic situation. Your nerves and your resolve is much different than a first to two. It could be 1-1 in the set. It could be last round, last game to determine who moves on into the bracket. You lose that round, you're going down to losers. You're on the loser side now, while your opponent is on the winner side, and they move forward into the bracket. Well, guess what happens, Bates? They move forward into the winner's bracket, but they're playing against somebody that you have beaten numerous times and time again, and they lose to that person. Now, is that person the better player than you because they sent you there? Yes or no?
Hmm.
Got him. Got him. Got him. Let me
I
stop.
would say that
Think
person
about it
at
now.
that.
Think
I
about it.
would say that person at that moment is the better player because he beat you in a set. Because your goal was to win, right? Your
This is
goal
a
was to
two.
win, right?
This
But
is a two out
listen,
of three environment.
your goal was to win, right?
I'm listening. Go ahead. Yes.
Your goal was to
Yes.
win, and you did
hmm
not win. Correctly, correct.
That's,
So at
that's
that
correct.
moment, I was better than you. Have you ever heard the phrase "any given Sunday"?
I've ever heard. I've seen that. I've heard of that movie.
That's a
Yes.
football term.
Yeah.
That's a football term. And the reason that phrase is so prevalent is because if you're not on point that Sunday and you lose, that team, excuse me, that team was the better player that day, right? How many
And that's
times?
what the
How many?
tournament.
But
That's
listen,
why
but listen.
tournaments are so such a gamble. That's why there's such a gamble when you're
They're a
entering
gamble,
them.
and thank you. That's true. I agree. That's why when somebody who can keep winning tournaments over and over and over again proves they're the best, because against all odds, they're still winning. In a first to 10, there's not that many variables. It's just you and this player. But
You and this particular player, yes, you guys are playing in
so
that
really,
particular set. You're locked in.
all the
Excuse me.
first to 10 does is show that you can beat that player in the first 10. It doesn't prove that you're
It
better
can
than
show
everybody.
it shows that you can beat that particular player. The key word is said that you just said was shows that you can beat that player. That means you're better than that player if you were able to beat them in
No,
that
you're not better
scenario.
than that player because if me and you go to the same tournament and you never play me in that because there's are scenarios in tournaments where
Mm,
I never have to play you.
Yeah, right.
You might get into a tournament and run up against a bunch of bad matchups, and I never have to play you
okay.
because you got folded by your bad matchups, which is what happens to me and Sam Show all the time. And then I win the tournament because I play a top tier character and I have nothing but good matchups, and you play a low tier character or you play whatever, and you have nothing but bad matchups, and you get eliminated because you wasn't consistent enough to be the best player that day. It is what it is.
Okay.
Tournaments, and by the way, when you reference who's the best, you don't say, well, oh, he wins a bunch of first tens. You say he won this tournament. He won that
Yeah,
tournament.
it's
Tournaments,
based off of tournament results.
tournaments prove
Right. Yes, yes,
that
it's
you're the
based.
best. So you agree with me then? Tournaments, not first to tens.
I'm
Tournaments
just you
prove,
asked me what I thought what the best was, and I told you on my definition
Uh,
of what the best was. That's
and
what
you
it
said
meant to
first to
me.
tens. You said
And I
first to
said
tens.
I said that if you can consistently beat a variety of players within your scene in first to tens, that makes you that in my opinion would make you a stronger player because you're
Disagree.
able to consistently get those wins over that player versus a 2 out of 3 scenario where there are much different variables involved into that, okay? It's
I
a
disagree.
toss. It's a toss up. You
I
can get a
disagree.
match. You're round one. Round
can,
one, you could play the
can I?
best seeded player, the
Can
number one seeded player in the bracket. You could play against them your first match. Okay, you lose to that player. However, if you were seeded differently against another player, you would win that match. It's a toss up.
But if you're the
Bates is what
best,
I'm
you should
saying.
win. If you're the best, you should
okay.
just beat everybody.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Retro. Talk to me. What's
So
up?
this is an analogy in comparison to another country. So actually, 3 4 years ago. So Tokido and Daigo. If Tokido won Evo, but when he played Daigo in first to 10 the next following year, and Kimono Michi 2, and Daigo beat and bopped him. In this case, where it doesn't matter, why Tokido cried when Daigo was after Daigo beat him? Tokido wouldn't have probably cried or be upset the fact that he couldn't beat Daigo. Now, I'll give you that Tokido pretty much considered at the time was maybe the best in that sense. Now that will add to your argument, Big Bates, but
I was about to
Taquito,
say Taquito was considered the best at that time because he won Evo.
right,
He
at
won
the
the
time,
tournament,
but
not because he won the first 10. He won the tournament.
but then he wanted to beat considered a Daigo. Daigo was like, okay, cool, first 10. It Taquito was no say the fightings are great, but dude was in tears when he lost to Daigo, and it was interesting. So not the fact that if he considered Daigo still not the greatest whatever at the time, that's fine, but the importance of I'll say first to 10 still matters to an extent, because you also have to have a longevity. Like say you were the best sniper in the military, whatever. And I know it made a bit best analogy, but you can one shot people. Unfortunately, whatever one shot people, all that stuff easily. But then if you go back home and you try to protect your house, and it's much easier to set up everything like that, but you can't protect your house. Are you the best sniper, or are you just whatever? My point is that I think for me, I think both will count, and it got in the condition because yes, you have variables of fighting different players in a small um, set of matches and so forth in the tournament. And yeah, you consistently was the best the word for it could be consistent as well. I say first to 10, there'd be consistency as well, because yeah, you won one first to 10, then you play someone else again, made that same person again, but then you win again and you win again. Because the thing is, for example, the Reboot running series, I definitely do a lot. I don't think it's just one first to 10. It has to be like 10, 20, 30 first to 10s. It don't
Right.
money, but the thing is like it don't like. But I think it's the numbers because basically the way it's saying is like, hey, you can win like 500 tournaments, and consider the best, but you lose a first to 10 and still consider the best, in one sense. But the numbers also no, not saying you have to win 500 first to 10s, but a good consistent numbers as well, and first to 10s. Because people want to, because a lot of people at times when they lose in tournament, they're like, all right, well, I bet you can't beat me in first to 10. You ain't that good. You just got lucky. All right, I beat you in that scenario. I'm gonna beat you in this scenario. If you beat them in both scenarios, that will push even further respect for you to like, yeah, okay, you know what? You back up, you talk, you can, yeah, you won. Because there's the other thing. People will make excuses of why you won. Oh, yeah, the crowd was cheering for you. Oh, yeah, this was too loud. Oh, yeah, this was only 2-3 games, and that was it. You didn't have much time. It had more time to adapt to what you were doing. I will beat you. All right, bet. Do that. Do that. Run that. Play first to 10 or first to 5 for whatever. You still beat them regardless of whatever condition you were set in. That still will define you. I say is the first to tournaments in addition to the first to whatever. Because if I'm like, yeah, if I won a tournament and I beat as some I beat everybody, and no, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm good. And then I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna beat you in this game. I'm gonna beat you in first to 10, the first to 5, whatever. I lose 5-1, 10-2, whatever, and people are going to think they're like, "This your best player? This is the guy who won the tournament, and I just beat him in this." That perspective is going to be like change, because then they like, "Oh, you won a tournament, cool, whatever." But if you have the consistency of beating like 10 tournaments, and then someone challenge, and like all these people will challenge you in first to 5s. It don't have to matter when they do that. You can relax on your day off, 1 week later, next week, month later, whatever, and no matter what, you still end up taking that first to whatever. That's still going to still define you, like, because that makes you still considered as a strong player, not just in tournaments but outside of it. No, because it's factors inside of tournaments. Like I said, short time. You only do this and do that. Now, yes, I give it for the credit for yes tournaments as far as like you were saying, Bates, the amount of you can deal with the crowd, all that type of stuff, or whatever. But then it's like, okay, what if your people don't support you? What if people are not there with you anymore? Now, what you gonna do now? Blah 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 blah. Can you still beat me? You gotta prove that because people gonna still gonna try and challenge you and try to make you prove you're still the best outside of the tournaments, and that's why I still count it because if out me, that's why I run the Reboot exhibition series. Could that still further gauge me? Is like, is no one can beat I say Shadow Ace. Because Shadow Ace has a 4-0 record. Yeah, may have played less first to tens compared to other people, but you look at the record numbers and who they played against, and also like him consistently, no one has beat Shadow Ace in the first to 10, and no one has. And then if he goes to our tournaments and beat us as well, that's further solidified that he will be the best. And whatever. So that's why I will consider first to 10 inclusion with tournaments versus first to 10 don't matter. Compared to much, this is like reminiscent of like what IDOM and Hollywood Raw TV was talking about a while back with EU and US, because there was an idea of like what defines the best, and it was a back and forth. Like if you watch that, please watch it. It was, made Hollywood Rob Rob TV pull out his hair because IDOM had some questionable ideas or debates, but that idea that to debate who is the best, is I think it's more than just tournaments that can define that. I don't think it should be mutually exclusive.
All right. Well, let's just do a sample between all three of us. If
Okay,
I had to say, who do you think out of Street Fighter V's lifespan, who's the best player? Who would you think? Who would you say?
Shadow Ace, because one he been
No, no,
consistent.
no, oh, no, no, no. I'm talking about Street Fighter Five as a whole. Like when you look back at everything that happened when Street Fighter Five first came out,
It's in this
who was
state.
the best player? No, 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 not out of the state, just in general. Who is the best player in Street Fighter Five nationally overall? Who was the best player?
Punk.
All right. Retro says Punk. What about you, Ace? Is Ace
You
there?
said throughout the whole year, the whole
Yeah.
whole lifespan.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole lifespan.
Oh, Punk.
Punk. So y'all say Punk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know who I say?
Good.
Infiltration. Now, why do I say
You didn't
infiltration?
specify a region.
No, I said nationally.
No, no, it's in
Oh, you
general.
said nationally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said nationally. I said
Mhm.
Oh, my
overall,
bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
nationally, who is the best Street Fighter 5 player of all time? And I say infiltration. Who do y'all say? Punk?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about you, Ace?
I think he said Punk.
Nationally.
Oh.
Yeah.
So y'all both say Punk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why do y'all say Punk? In fact, you know what? Before we get in that, I'll say IDOM is better than Punk overall. IDOM has an overall better stake at being the best than Punk.
You know
So
what?
I'll debate IDOM versus Punk. Because if I said infiltration, I think we're gonna automatically like disagree on that. But to me, infiltration was the best because when he did enter, he won every time he entered, he won. But I'm gonna listen to y'all. I shouldn't say every time, but majority of tournaments
No.
he entered for Street Fighter Five, he won, and he did it with like characters that people weren't ready.
Yeah. He didn't know
You
what
know
losers
what?
bracket looked like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what? Yeah. No, I feel bad. For
And then not only that, infiltration was cooking everybody in quote
Sure.
unquote first tens too. So to me, he was the best.
I feel.
Now, he just didn't get to keep playing. Now I'm not trying to get canceled out here, but I'm just saying. To me, if he was able to keep competing, he would have won everything. But
You know
let's
what?
just debate Punk and IDOM just for the sake of
Right.
sample
Right.
size.
Mm.
Why do y'all think? Because y'all that was y'all first. Don't change it. Because
Mm-hmm.
y'all naturally first thought Punk. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why I think IDOM is better than Punk. So y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
So to be
Well,
fair,
I mean,
yeah.
all right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead, Rich.
To be fair, to be fair, yeah, I forgot about Idol. But if I were to argue for
Okay.
Punk's,
Honestly though, think about it like this, right? There's a
Mhm.
reason you forgot about IDOM.
And that reason is,
So,
I don't know. You
we,
tell me. Why did y'all forget about Item?
no, I mean, I didn't forget about Item. I knew Item was, of course, up there in the contender sheet for the discussion,
oh,
but I had to get Punk based on, his results, his tournament results. Early season Punk, when he was taking the game, more serious, and it didn't go through the whole character cast. But even still, when he was playing multiple characters, he was still, winning tournaments and stuff, especially online.
You said he was winning tournaments. That was your main reason, because he was winning tournaments.
Bates, Bates, what are we doing right now, man? What are we
No, no, no.
what,
I'm just
what are we
no. My
doing
bad.
right
I
now?
didn't
I'll
mean
be
to
right back.
interrupt. Excuse me. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Alright.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying that like he was during the earlier years of Street Fighter Five, of course, everything he touched was turned to gold. He was winning a majority of tournaments. Now, Item, I will say, he showed up within the last. I mean, Item wasn't there in the beginning years of Street Fighter
Yes, he
Five. Correct me
was.
if I'm wrong.
He was there
Correct me
from
if I'm wrong.
season. Item became relevant season
Correct me.
2.
Yeah,
When that
Terrence is in the chat. Terrence, was
Item
Item here in season
became
one? Was
relevant
Item here in
season
season
2.
one?
I said season 2.
I'm talking about season one. I'm talking about from the
No, no,
beginning,
no,
Bates.
no,
I
no.
said it from the
I
beginning.
said the
Oh my
majority of Street
gosh.
Fighter 5. I specifically said through the whole of Street Fighter 5. Who do you think is the best?
And I just said based on his record. I said based on the record and the years that he's been playing. He's been playing longer. He's been playing the game longer. And I
Item was
said
playing
that
the beginning too.
Item wasn't there in season one, Bates. He wasn't
You mean
there.
Item wasn't winning in season 1, but I would argue Punk wasn't winning in season 1. Who was winning? What did Punk win in season 1? Next level battle circuit?
Item wait, hold on. Terrence said
What
that
was
Item was
Punk?
there.
Yeah, I know
Wait,
he
Tom,
was there. I'm not even
he was there in
debating that.
season one?
Yeah, yeah. What was Punk win in season 1? By all means, please tell me. What did he win in season 1? Because what I remember is Takedo, Daigo, Fudo. By the way, Fudo is goated in my opinion as a Street Fighter 5 player. He was in second in everything. He was constantly top 3 in everything. But nobody want to talk about that because he didn't win. But Punk season 1, what was he winning? He didn't win shit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He didn't win nothing.
Punk didn't start winning until season two.
He didn't start winning until season 2. Not to say he was bad in season 1, but he didn't start winning until season 2.
And when Ryu was busted, nobody when
When
Ryu and
Ryu
Nash were
was
busted,
busted and Nash was busted,
Wicked
who
was
was
there.
playing? Who was playing Ryu and Nash? Infiltration was playing
Infiltration.
Nash and cooking, looking like Gordon Ramsay in this motherfucker with Nash. Until they
Tomahawks.
nerfed,
Tomahawk steak and shrimp.
until they
damn.
nerfed Nash,
Yeah.
That's true.
right? Who was
Okay.
cooking with Ryu? Takedo. Not even Daigo was cooking with Ryu like that. Takedo was cooking with Ryu. That CEO Grand Finals, that first one, was Takedo and Infiltration. Then they changed the game. That's what I'm saying, man. We're short sighted. You got to look at the whole picture. And I didn't even. I'm gonna make my point why I think Idon is the best,
Uh-huh.
right? I think Infiltration is the best, but he didn't get to play throughout the whole thing, so I'll just make my
Mhm.
case on Idon. This very last Evo, okay. Well,
Shit.
let's not to mention he won Capcom Cup. He beat your boy Punk at Capcom Cup
Yeah.
to win Capcom Cup.
Why I
He's
forgot about
been
that.
winning at Next Level Battle Circuit.
God
He's
damn it.
been winning every online tournament.
Shit.
He's been winning everything. The nigga was just winning everything,
Damn.
right?
I forgot
Beating
about that.
Punk in the process. I mean, how many times the dude got to beat Punk for y'all to realize he's better than Punk? But even Punk says Ion was winning, beating his ass.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna bring that up because that's not what really put it to Idon for me. This will put it to Idon for me. By the way, I haven't even been actively playing 5. I just been creeping, playing other games.
Right.
But watching and outside looking at what put Idon over Punk for me, this very last Evo, Idon didn't win Evo. He got second, just like Punk. But look at what that dude, look at who he had to beat to make it to that grand finals and reset the bracket. That was crazy. That was a crazy run at Evo. In one sitting, in a first 2 out of 3, in one sitting in a 2 out of 3, he beat Taquito,
Daigo.
he Daigo. He was just cooking. And everybody
Oh
else in
my
that top
gosh.
8 was fucking stacked. And he beat them all in a 2 out of 3 on the biggest stage after COVID, after all this shit. He was there in that and he was in that grand final, and he reset the bracket. Kawano was on fire that weekend, and he cooked that nigga and reset the bracket and lost on one mix up with Laura, who's not even top tier. She's stupid, but she's not top tier.
Damn it. I no the so I
So, what means more to you, Punk, who keep choking at grand finals, or the dude that wins and was able to cook through that whole top 8 against international talent? You
personally
tripping? It's not even close.
personally I
It's
fuck
not even close.
personally I fucked up on that because I was thinking I'm used to Punk's presence in social media versus
Oh yeah,
Idol.
man.
That
Yeah, I
that
agree. Like when you look
that
at content creators,
that was
they
me.
always in your face.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is it is what it is.
Yeah, but the sad part about it, ironically also brought up about IDOM's debate about the EU versus US, which then like translate, which our main topic here is about the best in Georgia criteria rather,
Mm-hmm.
and is where I forgot like yeah he's Capcom Cup winner, he's he won online tournaments, he basically literally won like players that transition from online to offline and consistently still won. But damn it, I messed up on that. That's on me just forgetting about his presence because he's very quiet about it. That's because actually,
That's what I'm saying.
no,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
because he doesn't put himself out there, he don't have
mm,
all these clickbait videos on YouTube. He don't have somebody editing his videos. He don't have a channel. You don't consider it. And
even
I don't even play Street Fighter 5 like that anymore
even
and
that
keep up with it. And I recognize it.
right, 'cause even that debate because you know what the infamous debate when Punk and A1 Strider at Street Fighter League went at it and Punk and Idom was like literally right there, just sitting there, just chilling. That because Punk was talking about, you can't beat me, but da da da. Well, he's just can't champ over there, and Idom sitting there just being quiet. Like, damn, I forgot when he
How
acknowledged.
many times we gotta watch Punk choking grand finals?
Mm.
Do y'all
Yeah,
remember at
yeah,
CEO?
because he went.
Do y'all remember at CEO the year before when Punk choked the mono? Do y'all remember that?
I remember when the famous Evo 2017 when Punk went undefeated to grand finals and lost and got destroyed by Taquito.
Like, I mean, my bad, man. I've been talking
No,
over
no,
you.
no,
Yo,
no.
Ace,
Nah,
go
man, you
ahead.
do
No,
your,
Ace,
yeah,
make,
you
no,
do
you
your
good.
thing,
make,
man. You
make your
just,
debate, brother. Make your debate, cause I feel like
I
I'm
mean,
too
I
excited.
think we all, I think we all had our pieces. We all said our pieces on how
You
we
didn't say
felt
nothing
about it.
about Punk versus Idon. You didn't say a
Huh?
single thing.
I
What
I fucked
about? Why
up.
do you think Punk is overall
The
better?
only reason why I said that Punk was better because he was doing more traveling and competing in more tournaments versus Idom, who it took. I mean, he was a very strong player, but he didn't travel as much as Punk did. So at the time, Punk, because he traveled so much, and competed in all of these different events and placed high, won a few here and there. He was, I would say, I would have gave it to him. But overall, you saying as a player, I would say he's a stronger player.
Wait,
Okay. I said overall who was the best. That's what I said. Who's the
yeah,
best?
but
So you still believe Punk was the best in Street Fighter 5?
I mean, what's this going on? Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that's kind of what I
That's cool.
was,
hmm.
I
So
was, I was, I was letting on.
you think Punk
Yeah,
was better than Fudo, Taquito, Kawano, and all of them? Punk was still better than them
yeah.
overall.
I'm not saying all of that.
That's what
You,
I'm saying.
you,
Who's the best? Who overall Street Fighter
I
5?
just told you, you made the comparison versus the one player, and that's what I was based it on. That was my comparison based
Okay.
on the results.
So now that we
Based on the
know that you got Punk over Idom, who's the best overall?
I just said it. I
Punk.
just said it was Punk.
Okay, Punk. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna leave it
Yes.
at that. All right, cool.
Yes, because you were naming you said that these other you start naming other players. We're not talking about those other players. We're only talking about the player that you pointed out specifically. That's what I was basing my opinion on.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
cool,
just
cool,
an
cool.
opinion. It could be wrong.
Idon,
That's fine.
Idon then cooked Punk on many occasions, and he's got larger tournament wins.
Well,
So that's my debate.
all right, I was looking it up. Punk beat. Let's see. I'm trying to see the more recent, but Punk beat Idom in the exhibition on Capcom
That's
Cup Pro Tour.
oh, okay, that's cool. But did he get? Did he not get
Oh, that's
reset
cool,
on?
huh? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
no, no, no,
cool.
no, no. In an
That's cool.
exhibition. It's an
Oh, okay,
exhibition.
bet.
It's an ex.
It's
So
But
you
it's
gotta
not
put
a
an
tournament,
ex.
so
You
it
gotta
don't
put a
matter.
first to 10 exhibition over a Capcom Cup Pro Tour.
So it doesn't matter, right? It does. The first and two doesn't. We just
Yeah, the
throwing that out the door.
exhibition is whatever.
All right.
I'm throwing the
Okay.
exhibition out the door. Yeah, I'm throwing that shit
Okay.
out the door. Yes, for sure, for
I,
sure.
I threw the gasoline into the fire. Damn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Recently,
Yeah.
when was that, by the way? When was that?
That was actually February this year.
Oh,
It-
recent too, right?
yeah,
You mean at
That
the
was
beginning
recent.
of the year?
yeah. This was the season final of Capcom Pro Tour.
Yeah,
So if I
that's
could
recent.
find two tournaments where Punk got cooked in NLBC or online tournament by Idon, would you say that first to 10 meant anything?
You
Actually, hold on.
so we're not gonna count the reign that Punk had before Idol
Okay,
came
here's the
to
thing.
NLBC. We're not
Oh
gonna
no no
count
no
that.
no! We could count that. That for sure. Actually, Punk went to NLBC and cooked Idom and was like, "Yo, is this y'all best player?" Right? Remember that?
That was a
I
thing.
remember that. That's when Sanford was getting destroyed. I'm a stop. Sanford could not beat Idom for nothing. That shit was funny.
Oh my gosh.
I remember that.
This
Sanford
man
could not
mentioned
beat
it.
Idom.
But
But
oh yeah.
I
Oh no.
spoke my piece on that though,
There's
man. I
this
spoke my piece on that.
actually very recent 2 weeks ago. Punk beat Idon in Street Fighter League first of three.
Okay.
Yeah.
that's even more recent. That's even more
Two,
recent,
2 weeks
right?
ago. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
You can
2
look it
weeks
up.
yeah,
ago. Oh dang,
Yeah.
okay,
that's
that's
real
cool.
close,
We,
Bates.
we can
Yes.
talk about recently, but I'm talking about overall. Cause where was Punk
Oh,
at? Cause where was Punk
oh
at?
my God.
Where was Punk at in that Evo top 8 this past year? Nowhere to be found. I'm gonna leave it at that.
You just okay. Okay. All right,
All right.
Bates. This is
But
crazy, man.
That's cool.
This how did
well, the thing is that we were trying
we
to
went
get
from Veston, Georgia to this? How did this
it was
get
me.
to this
It
point?
was me
Oh,
because
oh,
It was
okay.
you,
I
Retro.
can bring it back.
No,
no
Retro, not like
no
this.
I can bring it back though. I can bring it
no
back
no
though.
because
I can bring it
the
back.
thing is I was making an analogy of
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
the criteria of like you could be how you be considered the best, but
hmm
it was for me I consider both first to whatever and tournaments.
Oh yeah, we had
Yeah,
different views
exactly.
on what
Right.
being the best
And
meant.
I said like I don't think nothing's wrong with that. I say
Yeah.
that was saying, but I was agreeing that if you want to say if I agree more with Sarah Ace, but I said I think first to whatever so it matters is that because I look at it as whatever condition you're in and you still climb out and win regardless. That pretty much say okay, yeah, you're pretty much considered the best to me. Cause like you can beat people in this tournament, you can beat people in the Swiss round robin versus this exhibitions. Like I
Oh
add all
shit!
that.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, they could ban characters in
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter League, right? They
Mm-hmm.
could ban characters in
Oh,
Street
Nick,
Fighter
I
League.
remember they
That's
banned
not even relevant.
right. Cause they banned Laura. Cause they knew about
Oh
item.
my god! All
They.
right, man. But I'm gonna say this right. I agree with Retro. You want to consider both. Obviously, this is a subjective topic, and whatever it's very
Very
subjective.
subjective.
but
It's very
Very
subjective.
subjective.
but
So we just
fair.
arguing opinions, right? And a wise man once
Mhm.
told me it's kind of pointless to argue in a man's opinion because you have an opinion because it's yours. Your
Yeah.
opinion is yours.
Yeah.
It's a debate though because I want to change our opinions.
Oh no.
Obviously, I was unsuccessful,
Nothing
and
wrong with
that
that.
y'all
Dude.
still think Punk is number one for whatever reason.
See, where you
That's
get number
cool.
one from? You all he just said stronger. That's all you just said. You
I
said
said the
stronger.
best. I said the best.
You said strong. You said better than Idol. You said you think he's better than Idol. You did you see? Okay. All right. Okay.
Go back and watch it. I said, who do y'all think was the best overall player Street Fighter Five? And I said it was Infiltration. But to make it a regular argument, because Infiltration is a very special case because he couldn't compete because he got banned, I would just use IDOM over Punk, and I debated IDOM versus Punk. And then I asked you again. I said, who do you think is the best overall nationally? And you said Punk still. So that's it. All right, I'm done.
All right. So to sum up the sum up the best of Georgia,
Hmm.
statement. Everyone has their own opinions about what they believe is the what considers to be the best in Georgia. My Bates said his, I said mine's, Retro said his, and it's all different, man. It happens.
Hmm.
I just don't like that term being thrown around so loosely, simply because our scene is weak.
Mm.
It is what it is. It's weak. It's trash right now.
Mm.
I'm gonna say it, man. I mean, I've been the humble and nice guy, about it, for a while, and I'm at the point where it's done and over with. I accepted it for what it was. COVID really, hit a slump there with the scene going down, and since Gwinnett Broad closed his doors, it went down even further.
Mm.
I could go even more further detail,
Mm.
but that I think that'll be something that could be saved
I was
then
gonna
for the
put
future.
you. I was gonna put you on the spot and say
Oh, talk to
what
me. What's
makes it
up, man?
weak.
Go for it.
What makes it weak? What makes it
What
weak?
makes it weak? What makes it low tier?
Hmm.
Lack of support. Lack of
Lack of
support.
support.
Lack of support, ego, and just willingness not to
Uh
be around certain people.
Okay, can I ask you something?
Go ahead. I'm here.
If
Fuck it. Let's do it, man. I'm tired
oh.
of it.
I could debate like this all day, so
Let's go. Hey, what's
I'm
up? Let's
bad.
go.
I'm bad. So if you're getting
Nah,
tired,
nah, nah.
You're
a lot of
good,
people
bro.
get
You a special
fatigued. I
guest,
can
man.
just keep going. A lot
You're
of people
allowed
get
to speak your piece, man.
Yeah, man.
okay. So I'm not trying to take over and all this, but
You're a guest. Welcome.
okay, I
It's the base
appreciate it.
power hour. Let's go.
All right. So if like COVID has said, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
If those players are not motivated to come out anymore, is
Hmm.
it fair to hold that against them? Is it fair to hold it against them?
Mm.
Yes, because they're not coming out.
But here's
Yes,
the
you would
thing,
hold it
though:
against
if
them
they don't want to do it anymore, why are you holding it against them? If they
because
don't want to play anymore, if they don't want to play anymore, why hold it against them?
I don't.
Yeah, you are because you're saying
I'm.
they don't come out. You're
I've
saying
just
you,
said I and that holding that's not holding against them. I'm just telling you what the scenario is. I'm letting you know what it is. I'm not holding a dagger over their head. I'm not threatening them because they don't come out. I've accepted that a long time ago, for what it is. But I'm letting you know from my perspective of what I see, which is why the circles around back to the best in Georgia. Because people were saying Shadow Ace is the best in Georgia, and I'm letting you know that is not the case. I'm letting
but
you know
but
that is not the case
if
because
they
the
don't want to play
situation
anymore,
Uh
if they don't
they
want to
don't
play
want to play.
anymore,
They don't want to play anymore.
oh.
why
That's
do
what
Y'all
it
they
both
is.
breaking up a bit.
why do they get to be the best if they don't want to play anymore?
Why do they get
Yeah,
to be?
why
What do
do
you
they
mean?
get to be the best if they don't want to play anymore? They don't want to play anymore.
That
Terrence,
means they're not the best, then, right?
Yes.
Does that mean
So
they're
the
not the
people that
best?
I'm
so
sorry.
out of everybody that wants to play, you're the best.
I'm sorry, Terrence. He's in the
If
chat.
if Terrence doesn't want to play anymore, but you want to play, if Adam doesn't want to play, if Jesus doesn't want to play, if
Mm.
Joel doesn't want to play, if none of our best players want to play anymore, and they don't like the game and they quit the game, then you can only go by the people that want to play and the people that are still playing. And out of the people that want to play and are still playing, you're the best player. Therefore, you are the best.
Okay. Also, I'm adding to the argument for Bates. Also, Shadow Ace, you've been beating people in Michigan in the Michigan tournaments. Oh, you've been consistently solid up there too.
You added more fuel to the fire, Retro.
I know.
Why'd you do that?
I
You
I
added more
mean,
gasoline to the
I'm gonna just
fire,
keep it
man.
real with you. Now, if honestly,
No,
Ace, if you don't care to be the best, or
right.
if you don't like being the best, I definitely won't hold that against you. I understand not giving a fuck about wanting to be the best in a state where nobody plays the fucking game or comes out to shit. That makes
Let's
sense.
go.
That fucking makes sense.
Bates.
But
Yo, talk to him, yo.
but
Oh shit. Okay,
but
Bates. Okay, I see you.
you
I
can't
see you, brother
say
Bates.
you
I
can't
see you.
say that you're not the best when the people that are still playing and the people that still play the game are not winning tournaments against you and are not beating you in casuals or first to tens, whatever the fuck
Yeah,
y'all like.
yeah.
So
Because like,
therefore,
y-
out of the sample
Yo.
size, you're the best. It is what it is.
Be-
You play in online tournaments, you go to offline tournaments, you commentate, you play you practice with people, you run sets. You're technically not even technically, you are the best out of everybody who's still
and
playing right now.
and not
This is what it is.
and you consistently get like top 3 results consistently.
So yeah, so what is there to debate? Now,
But
if you don't care about it,
Mhm.
that's fine. Joel didn't give a fuck about being the best in Jordan. You asked Joel back when he was cooking people in Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 4 about being the best. He'd be like, "Who cares? I don't care about the being best in Jordan. It don't mean shit to him." But he was
yeah,
when he was beating everybody with Akuma. So guess what?
she was online.
That's
read.
what you are. It is
That's
what
all
it
I'm
is.
saying. All I'm saying is I just
You
don't
can
like
say
the label.
that.
I
Then
don't like the
say that.
label. I
Then
don't
say
like the
that.
label.
Say you don't like it. That's
I don't
fine.
like the label.
But that
That's
doesn't
it.
mean it's
Like I don't
not
like
true.
hearing that.
That doesn't mean it's not true.
Yeah,
That's
We don't
it.
have we don't have a scene. Okay, our scene now
Now,
isn't like it was back then.
honestly,
Our
every,
scene
could
now is
be-
not like what it was back then.
I could
So
be super
it's a different
savage.
level of competition.
I could
It's
be
a
super
different.
savage
Uh,
and say
mhm.
that nobody in Georgia likes Street Fighter 5.
I mean, we kind of went through
I
like
do that.
we went through like 12 episodes of people kind of more or less confirming they don't like Street Fighter 5. Even I said it too. So I mean,
Yeah, so what does that mean?
It-
I can understand why you wouldn't want to be the best at the game. It's trash. But it doesn't change the fact. If you got to die on that hill of liking the game and being the best of it, you don't have to
I
do
never
that.
said I liked. I never said I liked the
You
game.
don't
I
like
like.
you don't like Street Fighter 5?
Oh wait,
You don't like Street Fighter
Listen.
5, bro?
Let me say this.
You don't
Let
like
me
Street
say this.
Fighter
I
5?
like the aspect of competition.
Oh my god.
I like playing.
Oh my god.
I like
Oh
competing.
my god. Oh my
I
god.
enjoy.
Okay, cool, man. You got it. Oh my fucking god.
oh no, OBS, please.
Oh man.
You get paid.
Is-
You got to pay your bills and stuff like that. You got to pay for things you need, right? You enjoy your work? Do you enjoy your work, or do you go to work because you have to go to work? You enjoy your job?
Ace.
Do you answer? It's the yes question.
Ace.
Do you enjoy your job?
I work my job
Do you
to
enjoy your
provide
job?
a living
Yes, you
and
do.
as a means to an end, right?
Okay.
You are talking about playing a
I'm
video
making.
game.
I'm circle back to why I
Competitively.
asked that. I'm going to circle back to why I
A
asked that.
video game
I'm going to
competitively.
circle back why I asked that, but I just need a yes or no confirmation. Do you enjoy your job? Do you enjoy your job? Yes or no?
I can't. Okay. Yes, I enjoy my job. Then, yeah, I do.
Okay, you enjoy it.
There's
You
there,
enjoy your work.
there's
You
things
enjoy your
about my
line of work.
job. There's the things about my job that I absolutely can't fucking stand. But I love that my job allows me to pursue my hobbies and do what I want to do. So by that token, yes, I enjoy it. I can't say I love it, but my job provides something that I need, and I can do it at a skill level I'm happy with, and I can be content with. So yes, when I'm done and I look at my work, I'm satisfied with it, and yeah, I like it. Now, there's a lot of aspects about my job I don't like, just like there's a lot of aspects about Street Fighter 5 I don't like, right?
Now
That you
do
don't
this.
like. There's a lot of
Now
things that
do
you
this.
don't like, right?
So everything you just said, right? Take
Mhm.
the word job out and put Street Fighter 5 in there for me.
So you like Street Fighter 5?
No, you do. What did you just say? You
I
said
just
you
said I
do
like
it.
my. I just said I like my job.
You said it's an ends to a means. That's what you said.
Yeah, but I said
That means
this about.
you play
No,
it.
no, 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 no.
I
But
look at
this
the aspect of competition for the game. That's it.
Ace, you can compete at Guilty Gear. You can
I
compete
could
at
compete
any
at
other
but
fighting
my
game.
legacy,
You
my
can
legacy of
You can
my
compete at
legacy knowledge
KOF.
comes from Street
You
Fighter.
can
Sam
compete
Show.
at KOF. Sam Show. I don't see you going that hard in KOF and Sam Show.
Because my
You
legacy
going
knowledge
hard
is
as
in Street
fuck in
Fighter.
Street Fighter 5. You going hard as fuck.
My legacy knowledge is in Street Fighter. That's why. Because I started out in the FGC playing Street Fighter 4. So naturally, I'm going to transition to the next title. So what's the next title, Bates? Street Fighter 5. So guess what, Bates? Guess what? I'm going to naturally transition over to continue to play Street Fighter 5.
You enjoy Street Fighter 5. It's okay. I'm not gonna hold that against you.
You
But
saying I enjoy it. See, that's what I'm talking about. I just said I literally just said because of the natural aspect of me being able to compete. I like the idea of competition. However, it's just because the scene has no support for the game. I still play. I mean, I could easily just quit. It's easy to quit and walk
but you
away from
don't want to
something.
quit. But you don't want to quit.
But why? What's the point? Why would
What
I
do you mean?
quit
What's
and
the
walk
point
away?
of
Why
not
would I want to
quitting?
be? Why would
Like,
I want to be a sheep? Why would
okay,
I want to follow? Why can't
well,
I follow my own
Why
opinion
is
or have
being
my
a
own
sheep?
thought?
well,
Why is somebody quitting Street Fighter 5 being a sheep?
or the
Because why is it? Because that's doing what everybody
all right,
else is
but the
doing.
question is
No,
like,
but they're not. They don't like the
The
game,
people,
so they
no, no,
stop
no, 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 no,
playing
no.
it.
or
Okay,
Bates.
let me say this.
What?
Let me say this
All
because
right, all right.
they're enjoying they're not enjoying the game. They're in that people. When I ask
You
people
can't
why
make
they don't
people
like the game,
enjoy a game.
listen, they can't give me a valid answer as to why they don't like the
You
game.
want me to give
Oh,
you a valid answer?
they don't give me a valid answer as to
You
why they
want me
don't
to
like the
give you a
game.
valid answer? I could give you 1,000 valid answers. You want me to go ahead?
Of course you could. No, I don't want you to. I want you. We've been down that road. You had your own Pacific episode with Paintbot, and you've been on before. Okay, you've been on with Heavyweight. Okay, we know the reasons. If you want to hear those reasons, you go back to the older episodes and you listen to those podcasts. Bates says his reasons there. Okay,
Mm.
we know that. You could give the people a quick refresher if you want to, but I'm saying if people don't like if people don't really like the game, they wouldn't play it. So obviously if I'm still playing it, there must be some interest to the game for me. And that interest is being able to connect with the community and with the competition, even if it's not within my own state. I've accepted that the scene is long gone. I've accepted that. When I look at other streams, I look at other healthy scenes out there that are holding their tournaments, they're holding their monthlies and stuff like that. I mean, they're having a good time. They're having a grand old time out there with the game. You know what I'm saying? But I know that it's not going to be like that everywhere. So I've been accepted it for what it is. I've let it go. I've let it go. I mean, what
I
else?
feel
What
like
else
you're
more can
holding.
I
I feel like
say?
you're holding it against our players who used to play a hard body and stopped playing a hard body.
I'm not holding it against anybody.
I feel like
It's
you
their
are.
choice. They're grown adults. If they want to stop playing it, they can. They let them stop
Well,
playing it.
I mean, we still have a scene here for Street Fighter Five. Everyone here
Right?
at least they know they don't like it as well. They like it as it is now, but it was I say at least our scene still try to support to the end of it. Yeah, granted that Street Fighter Six is I say more or less right around the corner, but but the question would be is that why do you still play Street Fighter Five, despite how you feel about it? What is about it still? I mean, I think it can go for me as well.
No, I mean,
Um,
he just said it. He's
I
the
just said it.
uh,
competition and all stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the source of the competition. Like
yeah,
I was like being able to play and connect with the people in the community.
So
And
you're
I'm more or less
also
of a people person.
you're also in
I,
the
I
camp
like
that
hanging
when
out.
Street Fighter
Just hanging
6
out,
comes
playing
out.
some games.
So when Street Fighter 6 come out, you're not even gonna touch that shit.
Who said that?
You.
I said
You
that
just
I
said it.
wasn't. I said I was gonna
But
sit on the back
when
burner and
Street
watch the
Fighter 6
scene.
comes out, you're not gonna touch Street Fighter 5 because by what you said, there's no competition for it anymore. It's done. It's dead.
No, I'm not. No, no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying when six comes out, I said I was going to sit back and watch the scene. I was gonna sit back and see how the scene is gonna be. 6 months into the game, life.
Okay, if the scene is bad and the game is bad, are you gonna go back to 5?
I mean, I'm still. I'll play both. I'll play both. It's
Why?
like I still play Ultra
Why
Street
would
Fighter
you
4.
play both? There's no
I still.
competition in 5 because it's no longer the main game. You said earlier
It doesn't
5 is
have
the
to
main
be.
Street Fighter. You're a
I
legacy
still
Street
play Street
Fighter
Fighter
player.
4. There's no
yeah,
Is there no competition in Street Fighter 4?
There's tournaments and stuff for it. If there's no
Okay then.
tournaments for Street Fighter, they ain't gonna be no tournaments for Street Fighter 5, bro. Ain't nobody after 6 come out.
I
Oh,
did.
Ain't
come
I
nobody
on,
did.
running no
bruh.
Street Fighter 5 tournament.
I did say that as well in
No,
last episode.
stop.
Okay,
I'm
it
instigating at this point. Ace called me out on my bullshit. I'm
Yeah,
instigating.
exactly.
But
Because you know
I'm
that's
just
all
saying.
BS.
right.
You know that's
Oh,
BS,
you
man.
think there's gonna be
Hit,
Street Fighter? I ain't running no Street Fighter 5 tournament
all
when
right.
6
Man, you
come out.
running a Street Fighter 5 tournament just like you ran that Power Rangers tournament you didn't want to run.
Oh shit.
I will say this:
Hold that.
if our non-existent Street Fighter 5 scene would like to run a Street Fighter 5, or like to participate in a Street Fighter 5 tournament,
Mhm.
they can bring their setups and they can happily run it themselves at our venue for sure. If they want to do that, I would gladly host something for them. They want to revive Trash Game, but for me, I'm not gonna actively push that game for no reason. Nobody comes out to any Street Fighter 5 tournament as is. So to run it when Street Fighter 6 is out is a joke, in my opinion. But
So,
yeah,
All right.
so are you gonna carry the same energy when Street Fighter 7 comes out? Street
yeah.
Fighter 6 is trash.
I
Oh man,
Wait.
gonna
Hold
put
on,
Street
hold on.
Fighter
And
7.
Street Fighter 6. Wait. If Street Fighter 6 comes out, it's the best Street Fighter 6, and it's fun to play. I'll happily run a tournament for it. But Street Fighter 5 came out, and it was garbage.
You're basing that on the consumer side though. You're
Okay.
basing
well,
that on
but
the consumer
Wait.
side.
Hold on.
we're
Is Street Fighter 5 a good game? Did you enjoy it? You just said you didn't. You just played for the competition. So do you enjoy it or not? That's what I'm asking.
What's the mix? Do I block hollow? Retro. What's the block hollow? What's going on? This man Bay trying to hit me with the setup,
Bruh,
man.
you put
What's
yourself in
going
that
on?
I mean,
corner.
I'm going off what you said. You said you don't really care for the game. You just play it because it's competition. I just said when Street Fighter 6 comes out, there's gonna be no competition.
I mean,
for
I'm not gonna
five.
go
Bait.
around. I'm not
You
going
just said
around.
you're willing
I'm
to
not
play.
going. Listen. I'm not going around bashing it and saying it's the worst game ever. You know,
I
this,
didn't.
that,
I
and the
didn't
third. I'm
talk
not gonna be
about.
on
I
social
didn't
media
talk
doing
about
all of
all
that.
that. I didn't talk about all that. I said, did you like it or not?
It's straight. It's alright.
You like it. Thank you. That's all I was
It's
trying to get. So you
it's
like Street Fighter
it's
5,
alright.
and that's okay. That's okay. But what I'm telling you is, you
If
can't
it's
hold it
okay,
against
then why is
people
it such a sin down here? Then why is it so?
because nobody likes this shit.
So what am I?
Nobody
So I'm not.
likes Street Fighter 5.
So me and Monster Kakarot the only ones that like it. Is that what it
Okay,
is?
how about this? Okay. Nobody that's willing to die on that fucking hill of pushing Street Fighter 5 likes Street Fighter 5. Because
Who said
y'all not going to die on that
not
hill.
on the hill?
You and Monster Kakarot are not going to die on that hill of going to every event and running up to people and asking them to play Street Fighter 5. Y'all not going to do it. You know what I do? I die on that hill for Samurai Showdown. I die on that fucking hill. Hey, man, play me in Samurai Showdown. Please play me in Samurai. I ask every time. I ask people. I was at Climax asking people to play Samurai Showdown. Where y'all at? Where was the Street Fighter 5 setup at Climax?
Oh shit.
Where was Maserati? Where was you? You was there. Why didn't you ask people to play 5?
Wow.
I'm
This
holding
is
you
what we doing?
accountable.
This is what we doing? This is what we doing? First of all,
Bro.
I'm not the TO. I'm not the TO. I don't have no leverage to just go around and say, hey guys, I know this is an anime tournament, but you know what I'm saying? Anybody want to play Street Fighter 5? You want me to just go around saying that looking crazy? No.
Shadow
I
Ace.
think you want better.
Shadow-
I think you want better.
Shadow
It was
Ace.
advertised.
Yo.
If it was a side event that was advertised, then it'd be a different story.
Okay, Ace,
Just
I
like
think you
hold
want
on.
better. Why is
Hold
it
on.
only you?
Wait.
Why is it only
That's what
you?
the side tournament was.
Hold on.
Why is it only
Samurai
you?
Showdown was a side tournament because it got advertised. If Street Fighter
Who advertised it? Who advertised it? Who advertised it? I did.
It would have had the same result.
Wait.
Please. So don't give me that.
I advertised
You
it.
know if y'all
Okay.
ran.
In fact, I would argue.
Street
Wait,
Fighter side
wait.
tournament,
Okay.
it would
I
have been
would
ran.
argue if
Hey,
I advertised Street Fighter 5 tournament, it would have got more
okay.
entrants than Samurai Showdown.
okay.
But guess what? I put the legwork in for Samurai Showdown. Painbot showed up and ran it and helped out because we care about the game. Where are the Street Fighter 5 players that care about the game?
You guys
There's
have
only two of y'all.
advertisement to
There's only
run
two
the
of y'all.
tournaments. you guys had the advertisement to run the tournament. If it would be a different story if you say, hey guys, we're running a side tournament for Street Fighter 5 as well. If that was advertised, of course the tournament would have got ran. Because guess what? You guys didn't do it because you guys didn't want to. That's it. That's it.
Ace.
It's a different story if it was actually
Wait, no.
advertised.
Ace is
Okay.
getting it.
Nobody
Ace is
signed
getting
up for
it.
it, Bates.
Ace is getting it
And
mixed up.
nobody signed up for it.
I'm not saying about a tournament. I'm saying where was the Street Fighter 5 setup? Marvel 3
How can it
players.
be?
You bring it.
Wait.
You bring. Hey, if you had a said,
How can it bring
if you
a
had
to an
said,
event that's not advertised for it?
Ace,
How does that work? Tell me.
If you had said, hey, can I bring a Street Fighter 5 setup? I would have let you do it.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not just getting at you. I'm getting at all the Street Fighter 5 players that still like the shit that don't want to put in the legwork.
Terry,
I'm not. It sounds like I'm getting at Ace. I'm really not getting at Ace.
Nobody's going to do. Nobody's doing that.
Nobody does it. Everybody that says they like Street Fighter 5 will not put in the work, except Ace. By the way, Ace puts in the work, but everybody else that retro. Retro, you like Street Fighter 5? Retro like Street Fighter 5?
Wait, you
No, I mean, he puts in the legwork for trying to raise.
He
the
does,
for the
but does he
community.
like it? I need the people that like the game to put in the work. Retro,
I
do you like Street Fighter 5?
let Retro cook. He got something. Go ahead. Not first, because it's a lot of heat. Me and Bates been going at. Let's go,
bruh. It was like watching the match and Chavez is in the corner and Bates was like with these plus frames just going. All right, because I was looking at Terrence. So Terrence said he tried to bring Street Fighter up to the Fayetteville events. Basically trying to support Chavez. But whew, Lord. But in my last episode, here's the thing. I mean, and as to the point, I also say I did last episode. I told that I don't like Street Fighter 5, and the reasons why, personally. But the thing is, and here's the other case. We have a player who has been coming to me in the Discord, begging the whole world to play KOF 98 and Garo Mako the Wolves, and I gave him this challenge. And I said, hey, if you want to bring this game out into our tournament, you can definitely do so. Just if people don't want to come out and play this game, they don't want to be interested in it and so forth, you can't get upset about it. You can't worry about it. I personally don't care about the game, but as a tournament organizer and a leader in the community, I want to have people get a chance to showcase what they want. Unfortunately, not everybody will like it. Now, when it comes to the point when Street Fighter 6 come out and someone says, "Hey, man, can we have Street Fighter 5 tournament?" Or so forth, I wouldn't object to it. I'm like, sure, you could. You know what? Because I can tell you that that's what I do. I let people get their chance to showcase what they want, and when people say they don't like it, and when they don't have like 1-2 people show up for that game, then those people get upset, be like, man, nobody want to play Street Fighter 5 anymore. No one play this KOF anymore. No, I won't say, well, I told you so. No one's gonna play it. I'm like, oh yeah, well, here you go. And if no one likes it, you can't get on me about why they don't like it. You have to talk to them. So same case with here. With me, I don't like Street Fighter 5 up until now, but I'm because you know what? Oh, yesterday we actually, because here's the fun part. Someone brought Street Fighter 6 to our scene, and pretty much there were some people that some Tekken player came to me and he was like, man, I might try a 2D game now. I might try Street Fighter. What I said was like, hey, right now we have Street Fighter 5, even though literally people were playing Street Fighter 6 on the side. And I said, well,
you gotta just laugh.
Because
how are you gonna convince him to play it?
No, Joshua said, don't say it out loud, dude. People post on media like 4-4 Esports literally had those type of setups.
Oh, they know that they have the crack version of Street Fighter.
Yeah,
Street Fighter. That's not a surprise.
Right,
That's not a
but
surprise.
and they publicly talked about that. But so,
Yeah.
but the thing about it is like where literally, for me to answer that, I was like, well, if you want to play Street Fighter Five right now is a good time to play it. If you want to learn how to play 2D games, and especially if you're trying to get into Street Fighter, then Street Fighter Five. I only recommend it at that time because right now it's in a condition that is considered is fun. If someone asked me about that 2 3 years ago, or even where especially 4 years ago, or around the time of launch, I honestly I wouldn't try to push it because, like I said, from my personal experience at the launch and everyone else's experience I know from the launch, they looked at the game like, why would you play this game? Why would I play this game? This game sucks. It does not have anything for me. I said the same thing myself, and it's weird because I stuck with it in some crazy ass hope that it might get better. And Paintbot was pointed out at a point where those type of people was like, yeah, don't worry about it. If you pay, you buy the game, and then eventually it'll be good. And then finally, 4 seasons later, it's like super great. And they're like, yeah, I told you gonna be good. After 4 years later, I can't be that type of person. And the weird thing, I wanted to be, but I would, yeah, Street Fighter, yeah, Jess was saying Street Fighter Five did get better, but the sad part about it,
Too
me,
little, too late.
right, it's at that point where it feels like, because right now with Street Fighter Six, even if you don't have the crack beta or whatever, it's where the idea that the way it's presented, like I said, people been fighting over the beta and everything more than Street Fighter Five. So if you recommend to me, say, hey, what should I play now? I could probably could say, hey, play Street Fighter Five. But I'm also now more tempted to say wait, and it's sad because that's just the how I feel about it subjectively. Objectively, I just encourage people to play Street Fighter Five just to play a 2D fighting game currently and just try it out so you get a feel of it, and that's it. But subjectively, it's like I feel that I will not recommend Street Fighter Five until up until as it is now. Is that if you want to try it, yeah, go for it if you want to. Well, but this game's out and is coming around the corner. Then the sequel's coming around the corner, so yeah, try something else. But like I said, I'm the person that don't want to discourage people
Mm.
to away from what they want to do or what they want to say or whatever or believe in. I rather have them test their theories out and try it out. Just say, hey, try it out and see how you feel. I can tell people don't play Street Fighter Five. Please don't play the game. It's this is next net. Some people will be like, why? I wonder why people tell me not to play this game. No, if they'd be curious about it or not. But as it is now, I feel more comfortable recommending it. But at the same time, it feels weird to not like to want to recommend it, even though it's in the status as it is now. It's fun. But me personally, I play the game because I said G, and G is like the main reason I'll still hold on to the game. If no, but even if the character don't, if even if well, I play Street Fighter Six, by the way, and I found it really fun. So even if G is not in there, then I actually will enjoy Street Fighter Six and not go back to Street Fighter Five.
All right. Well, we were, you know what I'm saying. I appreciate that that given statement there. But since we're running low on time, let me start this last question. We'll wrap it up for our M. Once again, thank you guys so much for this, man. This
It
yeah,
takes a lot of energy, man.
yeah,
I can do this shit.
this.
I do this all the time, so
I
I'm not
mean,
stuck
damn,
in
man.
it.
I was like, yo, this
Yeah,
shit. We
debate is
probably had to
fun
get
with me.
another hour in. We could have got
Yeah.
a good
Oh yeah, for
another.
sure. I got something else I want to say on that topic, but
Like,
I do want to say this before we leave that topic. I am not dismissing everybody who put in work and
Right.
tried to push Street Fighter Five in Georgia. I was there from the beginning, by the way. I was one of the people who used to host sessions.
Same
Shout outs
here.
to my man KB.
Yep.
Shout out
Shouts.
to Retro. Retro still runs tournaments. KB still runs. Ace
Oh
commentates
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. How
Street
was
Fighter
that?
5.
Mm,
Say what?
How was that? That's what it was. How was that yesterday for y'all? Street Fighter Five
For the,
tournament.
Oh,
oh
I
yeah, for
wasn't there.
the base wasn't there.
Yeah.
He's about 8 hours away, so
I did
he
I
wouldn't
did,
be able
You
to make
said
it.
8 hours?
He's about 8 hours away. So,
I did catch.
but yeah, man, it was a good event,
I
man.
caught some of the footage. Yeah, yeah.
It was a good event, man. I think I don't think esports is excuse me 4-4 esports is necessarily closing down, but I
Mhm.
think it's just a transfer of new ownership um to someone else. So that I think that's being worked out at the moment. But as it stands, once everything gets finalized and the dust settles, we'll see what happens. But I don't think the actual venue itself is closing down.
Mhm.
But I had announced it as that being the last event because I thought that was the case. I thought it was, I thought the doors were closing for the venue. So I was like, well, this will be the last Street Fighter Five tournament. But when I got there and talked to the person that was like running the register, it doesn't look like that'll be a case. Probably just a transfer of ownership, but we'll see what happens.
Mhm.
And once the details get ironed out, we'll learn more. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there may be another tournament, but for right now, yeah, that'll be the last one
Oh yeah.
that I would host. Yeah, we had medals for top three. We had pot bonuses.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time out there. But but yeah, let me throw this last question out there. So what is your guys? What is your vision or like plans for the future for the Street Fighter 16. Can't say Street Fighter 5 no more because I guess that's a forbidden word.
That's fine.
So
I just
yeah,
just gotta be. If you wanted to talk about it, you just gotta
look,
be
man,
willing to defend it. And
look.
nobody who likes the game wants to defend it because they can't. So I'll leave it at that. Go ahead.
All right, so the future of the scene, Street Fighter 6. Again, I said I was going to chill, and I'm sitting back and just watching how the scene moves, see how people who did all this good talking and praising and all this stuff, and see where their head is at. Once the game is in. But what are your vision or plans for the future of the Street Fighter 6 scene here in Georgia? Veteran and new players, they'll come through for sure. But what events do we have at this moment? We got the Data FGC. They may have something here and there. We got reboots. I don't know how Zone Breakers feels about Street Fighter in general.
Hmm.
I don't know if they will do a Street Fighter 6 tournament. I'm not sure because I know they did a lot of other games that are non Street Fighter. So I'm not sure what their take is on that. 4-4 Esports maybe under new management. We'll see. Southeast Mayhem, that was a thing that was last year. Shouts to 4H Tim for being the first winner of that. I don't know if that's coming back.
By the way, I
Um,
was second place at Southeast Mayhem.
oh,
Hey.
okay. Yeah, congratulations on get second in the
Oh
game
yeah,
you
I
don't
remember
like.
that. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody ever remembers the loser.
I mean, you got second in the game you don't like, so that's what's up, man. I
I've done it a
appreciate
bunch.
that.
I've been doing it all year.
Oh, okay, good stuff. All right, and then of course we got new venues and partnership. There's going to be new venues and partnerships popping up for the game, trying to advertise.
Hmm.
So that's going to be a thing. So I think it'll be an interesting future to see what holds
Hmm.
for the scene of for the state of Georgia. But I'll start off with you, base.
By the way, I'll just be messing with you. I don't really. I hope people don't think I'm just really getting at you like that. I just be
No,
messing with you.
no,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
not
No.
getting it
We
on,
just
man.
be fucking with. I just,
No, we not. No, I'm good, man. Trust me,
and
I'm
people
I'm
not used
straight.
to dealing with me. They wouldn't like. Some people don't even get
Man,
to see the side of me, so
Nah,
I
I'm
that
have
all
to like
right, man.
I
explain
was in
that.
tears.
Yeah, yeah, I gotta
I'm
explain it. I just be messing around,
You know
man.
what I'm
Y'all
saying?
think y'all catch
We
it.
both had to deliver heat, man. That's all that matters.
Woo.
Y'all
We had
think
to deliver.
you think Ace be catching? You should see me and Pain by getting at each other,
Oh
man.
no,
No, it's
I
no
can
holds barred
imagine.
on that.
I mean,
Hey,
it's
I can
paintbot.
picture out two old people sitting in the rocking chairs just yelling back and forth.
But to
Uh-huh.
answer your question about Street Fighter 6, I just want to be so. All right, so we don't. I think we don't know when Street Fighter 6 coming out exactly. I think they said late spring, right?
It,
If I'm
well, it's gonna be sometime after March because Resident Evil 4 remake is expected to come out due to their financial reports, I believe. So they're not gonna have anything released until like after probably March or April.
okay, cool. So for me, I really just want to I don't really care about competing too much
Mm-hmm.
in Street Fighter 6. Like I'm not gonna go as hard as I used to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like Ace in the sense that I cut my teeth in Street Fighter 4. So
Mm-hmm.
I am like kind of a Street Fighter 4. I'm Street Fighter legacy player at this point. So I'll play it, but I'm not trying to be the best at it. What I really want to do is I really want to host a tournament that really um, is good for new players, and because we're gonna get an influx of new players. Man, I'm telling you, 2023 is about to be something we've never seen in FGC. Kind of like how 2016 was, man. Like it's weird. We go through eras, right? And it's always started by Street Fighter, by the way. It's always like Street Fighter 4 era was crazy. Street Fighter 5 era was crazier. And then now we about to enter the Street Fighter 6 era. So I just want to make sure that as Georgia as a whole, we have a something that we can all appreciate and be a part of. Because I felt like when Street Fighter 5 first came out, a lot of people don't remember, but there was like tournaments everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was like it wasn't really too involved in the community, which is why we made Data FGC. We wanted like something to make sure we had something for the community.
Right.
So just same thing, man. Just want to make sure that when Street Fighter 6 does come out, it's very community oriented and it's very welcoming to new players because we're gonna get a crazy amount of new players, man. Again, like Street Fighter 5 already had a lot of new players when it first came out, and that game was like whatever when it first came out. Now you got this game coming out, and we got kind of a glimpse of it with Guilty Gear. Like how many new players we get because of Guilty Gear already when it first came out. So now imagine an IP like Street Fighter 5 when it comes out. So I mean Street Fighter 6, excuse me. So I just want to be able to welcome the new players with a good tournament, and I'm gonna play and I'm gonna compete, but it's not gonna be like on some I'm trying to be the best kind of stuff like I used to be on. It's just more like I just want to see test my metal against some of this young blood, have fun, run tournaments, and play games, man. Now when Samurai Showdown gets rolled back, then we'll talk. But just for like competing,
Mm-hmm.
that's just my goals as far as Street Fighter 6. Like I'm gonna play and I'm gonna try to give as much advice as I can. I'm gonna try to learn and give as much matchup knowledge as I can. But
All
as
right.
far as like traveling specifically just to like play Street Fighter 6 or whatever, I doubt it.
All right. All right. And any closing remarks from you, Retro?
Yeah. I'm very looking forward to. Like I said, next Saturday is the start, and of course I'll post announcements when that time comes. I'm looking forward to more traveling. As far for the future of the scene, um, definitely I think we'll see a lot more traveling to events to compete, and we'll have also team battles. I think that's the type of tournaments to definitely see more of. I'm looking forward to. I like to see more because I've been actually asked so many times to want to have team battles against like 404 Data and a few others, and the Street Fighter like one of the games is that they want to have requests for team battles for. I like to have team tournaments to be featured. Of course, the online is going to be really big because I think so that having rollback, and then especially if it has good crossplay too. I see a lot of online. I think like the engagement and for the growth of the Street Fighter scene for Georgia is going to be really exponentially high because from what everyone even I said because like I said they have a Tekken player as wanting to try Street Fighter. You have a Super Turbo player want to try the new Street Fighter. A lot of people have been asking me in our scene about it, and they've been wanting to get their hands on it. They're excited for it, and let's say players from other games and Smash and Tekken and other whatever, they want to jump into it. So I'm going to looking forward to the explosion of the new generation and newcomers for the game. And I think also too is going to you know think I was trying my I think also too we'll definitely have maybe new areas to open up in Georgia, because of the game. Like people will be more inspired to try to, open up their own venues and everything, try to run their own little Street Fighter 6 tournaments, especially and whatnot. But I think at the same time, we'll probably have a eventually a new combined, you know, Georgia effort tournament or Southeast tournament. Because like I said, I think you know, without even without final round and so forth, and you have the new scene stepping up and these new generation of players and whatnot. I think eventually, like Southeast Mayhem was a example, but I think we're gonna have something big, at some point because I know there've been talks, where with us at one point we almost talked with Alabama to want to do something with a Southeast thing, and then of course a few other areas. And my idea is that hopefully we put together some big Southeast thing and do that. I think we'll have a new generation of a lot of stuff. Street Fighter 6 pretty much will be that headline for it. So I'm super excited. Definitely. The only thing about it is gonna be interesting of what system will it be played on because we might have more PS5s coming through. We might have Xbox Series. So that's the other question too. How what's going to be featured of the tournament scenes, and then with that online.
Mhm. Definitely exciting times ahead, especially consoles and new players, new venues. So it's a new chapter, man, here in the FGC world, man. But I want to thank you guys so much again for taking your time out on your 7 8 evenings to join us. Hope you guys at home enjoyed the discussion. Those who listen to it live, those who are listening to the archive on the Reboot Retrocade gaming channel on the YouTube, we do appreciate you guys too as well. And yeah, man, I think we got a lot of good topics, a lot of good back and forth discussion going on. So this is definitely gonna get me through work. So big shout outs to that. And yeah, that's it, man. The season finale. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Um, stay tuned because we'll have to go through the planning phase to see what we're gonna do for season two. I know season two was going to open the floodgates to try to see how things operate out there in other state scenes as well. See how they feel about the game, how they feel, how they feel about Street Fighter 5 and how the FGC works out there in their states. Maybe I mean I'm pretty sure it's completely different. Maybe it could be like a Bizarro World thing where on that end, they every year everybody here loves the game. Everybody's all happy and cheery outside of there, and over here, we're the dark and gloom version of it. So it's I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. It's I had a good time for sure. But outdoor, good stuff. Yeah, big dates for joining us here. So retro, thank you
Uh,
so much again.
mm-hmm.
Everybody, in the chat, thank you guys for listening as well. Shadow Ace, hope you guys enjoyed the season one finale of the podcast. 13 episodes, a crazy milestone. I'll give out I'll do an appreciation post with all just to thanking Sir Retro and everybody who agreed to do this because this was just a concept in my head. I didn't think it would take off and get to this level. I thought it was just gonna be like one of those ideas where one or two episodes and we done, but nah, we had 13. So
Mm-hmm.
that is a milestone, man. So I'm definitely gonna celebrate. I got some good drink here on my end that I'm gonna do a toast to. And so retro, I know you're enjoying your good drink over there too.
Yep. Towards.
So yeah, we gotta celebrate, man. We gotta celebrate because 13 is a quite
Dang.
the accomplishment.
If only we were gonna be at DreamHack, man. I was definitely.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to do that, but I have a family activity that
Oh,
week.
understood. Understood.
Yeah,
Understood.
Hey man, bring the family.
I know, right?
I'm just
I'm not.
joking.
I'm still keeping the FGC a secret from them, man. I can't tell them, man. I'm too shy, man. but yeah, man,
Oh yeah.
good stuff to y'all, man. We out the door, man. You guys be safe,
Oh
take care,
well,
and catch you next time.
before I close out though,
Uh oh.
don't forget, because we keep bringing it up and not talking about it. Like I said, we're gonna have Dream Hat next Saturday, not this upcoming Saturday, but next Saturday we're gonna have Dream Hat. And like I said, for those who are extra interested and wanting to attend, we're gonna look at all the money that's gonna be presented, and you guys see it. We're gonna have, of course, Smash Brothers, Revolution Revolt, which actually is free to enter. Guilty Gear, Strive, Tekken 7, KOF, Duel, Rev 2, because that since recently had a cross rollback and so forth, Street Fighter 5 and Marvel 3. I entered 5 tournaments, by the way, if you guys are curious, because I'm going to go all out, and they're $1 each, with the exception of Revolution Revolt, which is free. But like I said, if you even spend one day there, it's about $40 for one day at DreamHack if you go up there. And like I said, the prize pool is there for you already set. All you gotta do is pay $1 just to enter. Who knows? I mean, pay $1, walk out with a couple hundred to 1,000. So eight. And then for us, just a little cool announcement. We are actually doing the our own little Middle Georgia tour where we having various games to be well, certain games to be featured, but various tournaments around the Middle Georgia area. And we're was the plan is that we're planning to do a 15 spots to be owned by the points, and basically we have the 16th spot to be featured at the last chance qualifiers at the Cherry Blossom Isekai Festival Isekai tournament. And of course, after that, the top 16 will duke it out for the really chunk, really good money. And Smash Brothers, Ultimate, Street Fighter 5, Guilty Gear, and Tekken 7 are the main games. But definitely, these are the featured times and what featured dates for the events. So, which was one. This is a coming Saturday, by the way. So definitely, we'll have more details soon. And then that's pretty much about it on my end. I'm not sure you guys have anything else, but yeah. So yeah, uh, you can take over, Showers. Wait, did he leave?
I don't know.
Wait, no, he left.
Okay, this is Big Bates and Sir Retro. I appreciate y'all for watching the stream. We're gonna close it out. Follow me on Twitter at BigBates. Sir Retro, once again, thank you for hosting all these podcasts and being a mayor of Macon and being a pillar in their community. We definitely appreciate you out here, brother. Don't ever change, all right? So, all of y'all have a good night, and
Thank.
go ahead, close it out, Retro.
All right, yeah, guys, good evening. I'm gonna see you guys a No Good Citizen. Definitely check out his stream, support him and what he's doing. So definitely, you guys have a good evening. Take it easy.